Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. A show where we discuss tips, tricks and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing more. What makes us different? Well, we're not streamers or YouTubers. We just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 news, information and opinions. We encourage your questions and feedback, and you can contact us either by email, twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com, or on Twitter at 2titans_hunter. Now, on with the show.
Grayog, join us.
Grayog has joined the group. And he's muted.
Okay, yeah, I was just I didn't hear
Yeah.
I found the server mute thing and set the AFK from 30 minutes to 60 minutes, but it doesn't seem to matter. It still thinks we're all AFK no matter what.
AFK. I don't even know if you can hear me. Yada 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 boom bada bing.
We can always hear you.
When the little mute button is not muted, we can hear you. When the mute button's muted, we cannot hear you.
Okay, so should we just get on with it and make it up as we go along this week then?
Absolutely.
I am joined, as ever, by Parody and Respawn. There's no point beating around the bush. It's just you two every week with me, and we talk about Destiny. That's the intro.
There we go.
But no, that's not the, you can't.
I'm not doing
What's
any
up,
extra.
guys?
You didn't want to do an extra one last week. I'm not doing extra this week.
No. Because
No,
yours
no.
was all praising your greatness and this and that and the other. I'm not talking about praising greatness as
What's up, guys? Houndish here.
No, I don't. We say nice things about everyone.
Ha! Sorry, I thought you were joking for a second. Anyway, but yeah, so I finally figured out what it was, because we were playing Gambit, right? You know what? I'll say it at some point in time during this thing. I don't know.
Okay,
Good
we
talk.
could talk about it now. We could talk about it at the head of the show and say that Respawn's got a ban for being Respawn.
No,
His
for
delightful
vehemently correcting
personality.
the errors of my teammates. That's what happened. Right?
Did you
While
do
re-
it verbally or did you do it via message?
Via
while
message.
How
rating?
did you attack your fellow
Did you-
colleagues in Destiny?
Vehemently corrected. Okay.
So your raid team kicked you out and then banned
No,
you
not
from
raid.
the Xbox. Oh, not a raid.
Dude.
Wow.
No, this was Gambit, man.
Oh, there's no helping people in Gambit.
Right. So I wear invader armor, right? So I am bright red. I am a freaking beacon of red light whenever I play Gambit, right? So it's blatantly obvious to anyone who has eyes that I'm the invader, right? And I've got the full set. You know, I've got the whole plus 15 motes or plus 15 points. So whenever I invade, it locks their bank. I am essentially a blocker when I invade, right? So you want me to go in, even if I don't get any kills, I lock their bank. You know, I can just kind of hang out and twiddle my thumbs if I wanted to. You know,
You could go
I'm
in
the
and dance
invader.
the whole time, and you're still doing good work.
Yeah. But this one idiot kept going in before me repeatedly. I only got to invade once or twice, and we ended up losing because, they were depositing all kinds of motes before we could. I mean, my team wasn't the greatest to begin with, so they weren't getting a whole lot of kills. But at the very least, I could have invaded, and you guys have played with me. When I invade, people die, right? Not only is their bank being locked, but people are dying. And
Nobody on your own team.
yeah, well, yeah, right.
50-50 shot. People die. We're not really concerned about which people, as long as someone is dead.
Right. But so I kept getting mad at this person. And whenever they'd come back, I tried to give them an in-game, hey, melee, look at me. I'm red. Let me go. Whatever, right? Try to visually cue them in that you should let me go. And they weren't doing it. And on top of that, they weren't getting any kills. They were going over and then dying and then coming back. I don't understand, because sometimes invaders go in and they'll get, an army of one, or they'll get 2 kills or 3 kills, right? I didn't go in, but they got kills, so I'm okay with it. This person wasn't even doing that. So I had
the thing is, when you play Gambit and you play it with Blueberries, the problem is that Bungie have set it up that you've got to do different parts of quests and bounties, and sometimes you have to try and do these things by yourself. And if he's trying to invade and maybe get invader kills for his what's the hand cannon?
Malfeasance.
The malfeasance.
Yep.
So if he's trying to get malfeasant kills and he's not the best player in the world, at least he's trying. You've got to kind of give some people the benefit of the doubt. If you want to go and play a little bit more professional, you've got to kind of put a team together.
Yeah, but the thing about it is I was also trying to get the points right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but you've got your malfeasance, haven't you?
No, I'm not talking about malfeasance. I'm talking about because whenever you start to play Gambit Prime, you get the weekly bounties for your helmet, right? And you have to get so many points, and you get more points by killing invaders and doing.
Maybe that's what he had, and he was trying to do that.
Right, but he wasn't killing invaders. He was just dying.
He was trying.
I don't care. We were losing.
Sometimes it's hard,
and you get less points when you lose.
You've got to start giving people the benefit of the doubt.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Embrace.
No, I really don't.
Embrace the losing. It's natural.
But yeah, so
what happened?
I vehemently corrected them via text, and they just sent me back too bad
smiley faces
as a response. Kind of
no, you always send back smiley faces. That's what you do when people angrily send you messages.
And then I got
them
banned right after that because I couldn't figure out why.
You don't just get a ban for sending one message.
I did.
One message.
Yeah, unless one of our clanmates reported me for whatever.
It was followed by 6 other messages.
Because that was the only message that I sent to a non-clanmate in, I don't know, a month. I have no idea how long it's been. But I'm not one of those kind of people that send messages to people. I just sent a message to this person because I wanted to get the points. I was tired of losing games, and they needed to get the points to let me invade. Right? So that's why
How long are you banned for then?
Just till like 4 o'clock today.
Okay.
Just 24 hours.
It's actually, they say 24 hours, but it started yesterday at 11 something and then ends today at 4. Last I checked, that's more than 24 hours.
We've discussed time zones are hard.
Maybe whoever it is listening to the podcast.
I don't care.
And I think, hang on a minute, we can get one up on him. Let's make him mute for the whole day. No respawn ranting apart from on the podcast.
Right, I guess. Maybe that's the thing.
In the Bungie forums. No,
I almost put out a legitimate help ticket, not yesterday, but the day before on the forums, because some weird things were happening to me, right? Like when I was playing Crucible to get my sniper rifle kills, which I'm getting good at, by the way. I think it was just the sniper rifle I was using wasn't right for me, but I've swapped sniper rifles, and now I'm tagging headshots. I'm up to 33 of 50 headshots in just a couple of games. So anyway, point is so I had a sniper rifle, right? And if I took a shot, it would, and I missed, right? If I hit them, nothing would happen. It would just register the hit. But if I missed, it was almost like a mulligan effect, right? I'd get another round back in my reserves and not in my magazine. But if I reloaded, right? So let's say if I had 1 round in the magazine and 1 round in my reserves from this mulligan type effect, if I reloaded to put 2 rounds in the magazine, one of them would disappear. I'd only have the 1. And that happened repeatedly over a few games. And I was like, what the hell? Right? Because sometimes I'd get a kill and I'd pick up their ammo off the ground, and I'd have 2 or 3 ammo in reserves and 2 in the magazine. So I'd reload, and then I'd have 1 round in my magazine. Like all the rounds would disappear except 1. It's like, what the hell is going on? So I almost put in a ticket for that. And then something similar happened with the Truth. A couple of times during Gambit, I'd get Truth ammo off the ground, and I'd go in invading thinking I had, 2 shots, right? Because I get two shots from a brick. So I'd go in, I'd fire off a round, and then that would be it. I'd have no more round. And then I started paying attention, and sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes with the Truth, when I'd pick up ammo off the ground, it would just give me the 1 round. Even if I had 3 and I picked up 1, I'd only have 1 by the time I fired it. Just weird things were happening like that. And I almost put in a trouble ticket, except, towards the end of the day, it stopped happening. So I don't know what the hell was going on. I don't know if it was just a bug in the system for a little while or what, but it was weird. Like my ammo was disappearing without me using it.
Bungie has heard your feedback, and they will be looking into this issue, and they will report it with the team.
After my ban is over.
Or they won't. It's hard to say which. No, see, that's actually part of the ban. You not only can you not speak, they're also going to take parts of your ammo away periodically. That's all part of the banning process.
It might be. They're
like, you can play the game. It's just going to be a little harder to shoot when you have ammo on your gun.
We're going to put you at a real life handicap. There you go.
That Outbreak Prime now becomes a melee weapon. You're going to have to beat people with it to get the nanites to activate. They're stuck on the gun. You have to beat. You have to melee 50 guardians in the Crucible to death first, and then your Outbreak Prime will start working again.
I can totally see that happening.
See that's the kind of banning I'd like to see. Like some of the things people have put into games as anti-piracy measures, unkillable bosses and things. I like that.
Anti-piracy, unkillable bosses.
And still instead of putting things in the game where you're banned and you can't talk to people, your guns just stop working. You have to melee people with your weapons in order for them to work again. Make the game much more enjoyable.
That's a word to use. I'm not sure if it's the right word, but that is a word that you can use.
Everyone needs punches. Everyone needs punches. Serving punch is what we do here.
You guys make it up to 500 yet? On any character? I'm sorry, not 500. 750 on any character?
I think I'm at 723, 4, somewhere in that range. And I haven't played much this week because I've had to work more than play.
Mm-hmm. See,
I don't even have the truth yet. I finished my Nightfalls and my map pieces, but I haven't done the Corrupted Strike thing and collect all the Ascendant tokens or whatever.
I see.
726 is where I'm sitting. 726.8 dim tells me on my Titan, and then 701 on the Warlock and 690 on the Hunter. But they could be higher if I move stuff over.
My characters, and this is what's really tilting me, is I made a message in the chat the other day about how all of because I have 3 750 weapons, thanks to my Hunter, right? So I transferred over to the Warlock to start leveling her up, and every piece of powerful gear was a weapon. Every piece, and every weapon was like 15 lower than my equipped weapons, and I was getting so tilted. So now,
welcome to Bungie,
right?
That's
now I have.
You're running around looking for that one piece of armor, and it's like, no, here's 16 more edge transits. Would you like an edge transit? Have an edge transit, sir.
So now I'm getting I don't want to say tilted again, but it's aggravating that my Hunter is now sitting at 749.8. My Warlock is sitting at 748 point something or whatever. So, and I can't get the pieces that I need to get to 750. And it's so.
You know why?
Give me the pieces I need.
And then you'll get your Bungie cupcake to be at 750.
You know why, don't you?
No. What are you talking about?
You don't play the Titan enough.
How would a Titan help me get armor for my Warlock and Hunter? Because that's what I need is armor.
You can punch 750 the weapon. The other characters and then take it home with you.
Yeah, transfer.
No. That's the other thing the Peregrine Greaves do. The Peregrine Greaves will actually let you steal armor pieces from other classes once you murder them.
Oh, speaking of Speaking of exotics, right? Yesterday I got
the magic words.
No. I got the Astrocyte Verse, the new armor piece for the Warlock. Dude, that thing is cancer in PvP. It really is, because I can blink. Okay, so what it does is, you get improved blink. You get your radar immediately back right after blink, right? And you can use blink more often. So that thing is cancer, right? That's my anti-Titan build. So whenever I see a Titan, I'll just blink and then shotgun him. So it's like, it's the anti-Titan Warlock. I'm sorry, anti-Titan exotic, and it's great. Is amazing.
It's just Warlocks normally, because they can just jump and hover above the Titan and go, "Hi, I'm up here, shooting you in the face." They don't need help doing that.
So shouldn't we just roll into this week at Bungie and just go from there? Do you think? Maybe.
I mean, yeah, if you want to be efficient, like a loser.
We can get this podcast in and dusted in under an hour, hopefully. Cross fingers.
Yeah. Well,
Samurai.
Do you think?
So first thing on the TWAB, truth. You've got the truth. You've got the truth. I have no truth. Tell me about the truth. Is it just like D1's truth? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it the way, the truth, and the light that we should all be bowing down in service of? And are you using it as a power weapon exotic when there's so many other exotics in the other slots you could be using?
Are you asking? Because I actually have it, and I think you have it as well, right, Demon?
Yeah,
that's what I just said. You guys have it. I don't have it.
I don't know if you're reading or if you're.
No. I'm asking.
Okay.
What's up, guys? You got the Truth Rocket Launcher. I don't have the Truth Rocket Launcher. Tell me about it.
So I think it's phenomenal in PvP. It's absolutely amazing, right? And it's also really good in PvE for ad clearing. I have to emphasize that because it's just really bad on boss damage, right? There's so many other exotics out there that are better for boss damage. So you're right. I mean, you got the Thunderlord, you got the Whisper, you have the Sleeper, you have the Darcy. All those are way better at boss damage than the Truth will ever be, right? Because it doesn't even have impact casing. But the good thing about the Truth is people think it's all about the tracking. And believe me, that tracking is really, really nice. But you can also do a bunch of trick shots with it too. And what I mean by that is because it's got that perk, horseshoes and hand grenades. Sorry, hand grenades and horseshoes. It's reversed for Destiny. And what I do is when somebody's hiding behind a rock or whatever, thinking that they're trying to be slick, what you do is you hip fire next to the rock, right? So the rocket's going to pass the rock, but it's going to detect that the Guardian's there once it passes, and it's going to detonate. And that blast radius will still kill the Guardian. So they can hide. In Gambit, it's absolute cancer because they like to hide whenever you get invaded or whatnot, and they hide behind these little rocks thinking, haha, what's he going to do? Well, I'm going to hip fire right above that rock you're hiding behind, and I'm going to kill you. It's so good. So anyway, that's my take on it. It's if you're playing PvP or if you're just using it for ad control, it's absolutely amazing. If you're using it for boss damage, there are definitely better options out there. That's my opinion.
Well, so for anybody that doesn't know, this is the annual pass quest for Truth, which is an exotic rocket launcher from Destiny 1. And as Reese1 was explaining, it's got an aggressive tracking and grenades and horseshoes. So with this, we're going to probably go into spoilers. If you don't want to know about the quest and any part of it, then we will put timestamps in the show notes for you to skip past.
What do you think about it? Have you used it? We got Respawn's take. What's your take?
Right.
I'll have a take when I have it.
Right.
I have it. I've used it once. Because for me, it didn't drop at a high light. It dropped like 1 or 2 light. Because I was around 740, it dropped at 742 and I already had something at 744. So I've kind of just skipped over it for now. But I'll probably infuse it and come back to it. Again, spoilers, we'll go into how you get it. To start the quest off, you have to go into the Menagerie and complete one lot of the Menagerie, kill the end boss, and you'll get a scrap of paper to drop, which will start the quest off.
And for those that know how to read, it's actually the Menagerie.
No, it's Menagerie. We've established over the last couple of weeks it's called the Menagerie, and I'm sticking with it.
Oh my god.
Hashtag Menagerie.
So now, do you need a lemon meringue pie while you're doing this? Will that actually improve your chances of getting this drop, or does it
that
drop
improves
for everybody
your
whether you have a pie or
if
not?
you get a lemon meringue pie because of the bitterness. It kind of hones your skills.
Perfect.
I don't think that's a thing. We can test it though.
But if you're listening to merengue music while you complete the merengue, does that even give you a higher boost? Do you get a
meringue
drop
as you're doing the merengue?
Perfect.
So I've forgotten the next part of the quest. Wasn't it we had to go to the Dreaming City to see Petra? You have to speak to Petra, and she'll tell you that you need to go and do this week's Ascendant challenge whilst Ascendant to get the next part of the quest.
Which you should do as a Titan. Done that, because it's super easy to do as a Titan.
It's super. Oh, damn it! It's super easy to do as anything. My wife just brought me grits. I'm trying to place my grits. And
does it take you? Does it take you more than 3 jumps to do it? With a Titan, you can do it in about 3 jumps.
With a Hunter, you can do it in 1 jump. Booyah!
You can jump from the platform you start on over to the right. You can sort of hover about where you're above where you need to jump down to, and then use that Thunder Crash middle tier arc, and just melee smash your way all the way down to the platform and skip the entire jumping puzzle.
How
and then you just kill a couple witches and you're done.
That's fascinating. But you could also kind of do the same thing with the Stompies, except you're a hunter, so you do it better.
So how does that work? And I'm asking because I don't know.
All right, so they give you improved jump, so it's not quite the bones of AO. You don't get the fourth jump, but all of your jumps are exceedingly higher than normal, right? So you get higher height on all three of your current jumps. So that's basically the bones of AO replacement, and you can get pretty far and pretty high with these boots. So.
Good talk.
So once you've done that and you've done the Ascendant Challenge, you then have to go and find treasure maps. And there are locations on Nessus. There's one, it's parts of a treasure map, isn't it?
Of a map.
You have to get 4 parts. And you can get one by doing a nightfall.
No, you get one by doing
one by
3 nightfalls.
Lost Sector
Plus...
boss. No, you get one to drop. You get one of the pieces to drop whilst doing the first nightfall. Or there's some hidden platforms on Nessus.
Wait, hold on. Stand by. What do you mean you get one to drop? Because you can get all 4 from Petra, and then one of them that you get from Petra says you have to do 3 nightfalls and get so many rocket kills within the nightfalls. So I haven't had anything quote unquote drop from the nightfall.
But if you if you don't use the cheese and talk to Petra a second time after you do the Ascendant Challenge and actually go collect the map pieces.
Oh.
Here's where they're located.
Oh.
Yeah. You can, at the moment of recording, it's still possible. There is a cheese after you've done the Ascendant part of it. You go and collect 1 map fragment, and you can either do that from doing a nightfall or find the hidden platforms on Nessus. There's one behind the barge.
You can do your Ascendant Challenge.
Do you know?
And then talk to Petra immediately, and she will have the 4 map pieces as an abandoned quest.
So what you're saying is that's not supposed to be like that?
No, it's not. Bungie will fix it eventually.
No.
So at time of recording, June 15th, you can go talk to Petra after you finish your Ascendant Challenge. Talk to her again, and she will give you all 4 pieces of the map as if you had them and deleted them to making them abandoned quests. Bungie will fix this at some point, so you can't do this forever. But as of right now, you can sort of short circuit this and just go pick up your 4 map pieces, which then lets you proceed. But once they fix that, you have to actually go collect these 4 map pieces out in the world.
And how do we know that this is a glitch? Was it brought up somewhere that it is like, well, not a glitch, but like a bug? Because I didn't hear anything about a bug. I made the assumption that it was just like, spider bounties or Hawthorne or whatever. They just have those 4 there. You get them all at once and you do them at your leisure.
No.
It shouldn't show up in an abandoned quest unless you abandon it.
Okay.
You have to have it to abandon it.
When you go and finish your Ascendant Challenge, you get a long piece of text on the piece of paper that she gives you, or that you get back from completing the Ascendant Challenge, and it's meant to be clues as to where to go and find these other 4 map pieces. So that's what I'm saying, that there's hidden platforms on Nessus that you can go to, and Respawn and I did it the first night. So when it first came out, everybody was scrambling on Reddit and trying to tell each other what to do. And that's why I was saying you had to go and find the first piece and then go back to Petra. But if you're saying you can just go straight to Petra, that's even better.
Well, at the time of this recording, yeah. I don't know if it's like that today.
For now, yeah.
But what I actually found quite interesting is one of the quest parts to find another or complete the map part was to do 3 nightfalls with 100 level power handicap, wasn't
and you had to get 50 or 60 rocket launcher kills while in the nightfall, and you had to do 3 nightfalls.
Yeah, and you had to do 3 nightfalls. So there was a multi-leveled quest step for just that one piece. There was also another piece that you had to go to Nessus, be Ascendant, and get rocket launcher kills. I believe it was 100.
I don't know. I don't think it was that many. I think one of them was 50 and the other one was 60. So I think the Nightfall was 50 and the Nessus one was 60.
Nightfalls were definitely 60 because I did that yesterday with ODST.
Then the Nessus was 50. Because I know for a fact one was 50, one was 60. There was only a
Okay,
10
yeah.
difference.
So yeah, go to Nessus, take your tincture of Queen's Foil. You'll need 50 enemy kills with rocket launchers while ascendant. Getting multiple kills with a rocket launcher gives you bonus progress. Da da da. Yeah. So it is. Yeah. So it is 50 kills on
Okay.
Nessus.
Here we go. I've got it written down now. Piece 1 was that you had to go to Nessus, use a tincture of Queen's Foil to gain ascendance, and you then had to. Where is that? Why is that? No, that's not right.
Should I send you the link I'm looking at that has this written out for you?
I think you probably should.
Oh, okay. No, sorry. One of the first map piece that you get is to decode the map piece, and you have to turn in a Corsair down badge from the Dreaming City. So if you didn't have one in your inventory, you had to kill loads of Scorn on Dreaming City until one dropped, and then go look for the Corsair down to decipher it. You then turn it into the Corsairs that are at the bottom of the door in that little cave, and that will complete your first piece.
And check your pursuits, because you'll be like me and be grinding and trying to get a Corsair down to drop, never actually see it drop, but then it will be in your pursuits. So check your pursuits periodically, because you may not see it drop and waste a whole bunch of time killing Scorn for no reason.
Or even better, you had it there to begin with the whole time.
Exactly.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, it wasn't there to begin with, because I deleted it last week to
Plot
make
twist.
more room, because I was thinking, why would I ever need this? I don't need this for
delete
anything.
it on the character that you were farming it on? You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Are you sure?
there is only one true character.
How do you know? Yeah, the hunter. I get that, but you never play it.
Well, that's not the hunter's fault.
So piece 2 was to do the Nightfall with a power handicap of 100, with a rocket launcher equipped, turn on heavyweight, kill 60 people with rockets, and complete 3 Nightfalls at the 100 level power handicap. Piece 3 was go to Nessus again with the tincture of Queen's Foil. You need to kill 50 enemies with rocket launchers while ascendant, and getting multiple kills with one rocket launcher gives you bonus progress. Piece 4 was kill 100 hive in the Tangled Shore.
Oh, it was
And
Hive. My bad.
again, there was quite a good, it was quite a good tip for that. With that, what I found this week was quite a good one. We had the Hollow Lair Strike
Don't do
as one
Warden
of the
Nothing.
Nightfalls. So
Don't do Warden of Nothing. Oh my god.
No. So booted up the Hollow Lair Strikes solo with 100 level power handicap, with rocket launchers and heavyweight on, zoned into the Tangled Shore, flew up to the Gypsum of Saturn, and was killing Hive there. But then what I also found was as you go round from where you come up from into the Gypsum, there's the Hive ship. And if you go up and inside that and follow the walkway round, you'll go up and down some stairs. And as you turn the corner, you're going to a loading zone. There's like about 7 thrall that are just sitting there eating off the floor. One rocket launcher kill, I got 7 kills in one. So you get bonus for the extra multiple kills and the hive. So I just did that about 3 or 4 times and got those kills done. So that was quite quick. So that knocked out my 60 rocket launcher Nightfall kills, and it also knocked out the hive on Tangled Shore.
Well, I would say I did the same thing, and then on Nessus for the other piece, I just went from public event to public event, rallying to the flags with my rocket launcher and killing things, and then moving on to the next public event before everyone showed up to steal my kills.
See, what I found with piece 3, where you had to go to Nessus and be Ascendant and get the 50 rocket launcher kills, with the bonus progress if you got multiple kills, I zoned into
Artifact's Edge. Into that lost sector.
No, what's her face?
You can just farm kills all day, every day.
No, I zoned into where Failsafe was, grabbed a flag, and then went straight over to the lost sector just over the way, took a Wardcliff coil, and that first little room where there's all those fallen, I didn't even get into the main section of the lost sector. It was just the bit where you've got the 2 servitors that kind of come out with a few of the fallen that were just shooting. And just doing that a couple of times wiped it out completely. And what I found was I did all the pieces apart from the Nightfalls, because I had to jump off and then do the Nightfalls the next day. But what I found is when I did one Nightfall, I got one of the map pieces to drop. And that map piece was to go to Nessus, be Ascendant, and get the 50 kills with rocket launchers. So rather than making my way through another 2 Nightfalls, I just went straight back to Nessus and did the same piece of paper.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it's ridiculous.
So you did the same thing
pick up
twice.
you can pick up the pieces that you want and go and do that, and then you can get the actual pieces to drop from where you're actually meant to specifically get them from. So you can do the easier versions of it.
Interesting.
It's ridiculous. So until that's patched or changed, you can do it that way. Yeah, and as you were saying, you can also go to Artifact's Edge, grab a flag from there, and then go into the Lost Sector World of Vex are. I believe that's where Andy said that he did it.
Yeah, because it's
in
the Vex, and if you
chat.
wait for a minute, all those goblins and things, they'll group up in groups of like 3 and 4 and 5. Then you hit them with a rocket, and you can blow through that real quickly.
Yeah, so for most of the pieces, you can do it solo, and if you can't find a team to do the Nightfall one, see if you can at least try and get through one Nightfall, and it will drop that one piece to go back to Nessus.
Remember, do it with 100 level handicap. Don't run 2 and then think, oh, we'll just run through the third one real quick, and then someone else runs the card that doesn't have 100 handicap on, and it won't count that way. 100 handicap, very important.
Yes. There are a lot of LFG groups specifically saying what they're catering for. So if you are going in without a group and trying to LFG it, make sure that you communicate with them beforehand that you jump in. Also, what I didn't realise with the Corsair down is that there's about 5 or 6 locations in each section where there could be a Corsair down, because I was running to a place where I thought there'd be a Corsair down. I was like, I can't find it anywhere. And I believe you were doing the same, Respawn. We were running around in different lost sectors looking for our specific Corsair down. Couldn't find them anywhere. We ended up having to look at videos to find out where
3
they
for
were.
3 on that. I did the same thing. I went to the Spine of Achilles past there looking for a Corsair down and going, why is it not here? I had the one in the Lost Sector, so I had to go to the Lost Sector to find the one there under the waterfall instead of that one. So yeah. I honestly never paid attention to the Corsair down to the Corsair down will say different things. Look up where it says to go, because there are different locations which Corsair you need to find. It's not just
it tells you where it's at. It tells you in the description where it's at. Like it'll say like, hey, there's something coming from the bay. Well, that would be like the Bay of Drawn Wishes, right? Yeah. And there's another one that says, there's a strange transmission coming in, and they keep saying something about Aphelion. Well, that's Aphelian's Rest, right? So it tells you where to go to find your Corsair down, kind of generally. But what I did discover is I looked up a video of where this one guy found his Corsair down, and I went to that same spot because I had that same location, and it wasn't there, right? So I just thought I missed something. So I wandered around a bit, and then I saw at the bottom text my location changed. So I turned around and went right back in. And when I went back in, that Corsair was in that location this time. So just loading in and out of the space you're looking in apparently reloads the Corsair location. So if you go online and it says, hey, it could be here, then just keep reloading until he is there, And I just found that out completely accidentally. So that seems to be a thing.
But if you are lost at where to find them, I will link the videos for each Corsair down by 360 Game TV, and they have one for each section, because there's about 5 or 6 locations that they could be, like the Bay of Wishes. I was just running around in all that mist trying to find mine, and it was the last location that I went to find it. So really helpful videos.
Well, it's always in the last place you look. Get it? Because even if it's the first place, it's still the last place.
Yeah, that's the video I use as well. Because over in the Spine of Achilles past that area, there's like 5 separate locations where they could be, and I hunted to all 5, and then realized it was none of those because it was the one, the weird sound coming from the chamber, and I was in the totally wrong spot.
Oh,
yeah, don't do what we did and wander around.
So once you've done all that and you've reconstructed your map, it will then ask you to go to the Warden of Nothing strike. Now, I did this in the normal strike playlist by accident. It just came up, and I thought, go on then, I'll be Ascendant and I'll go and finish it off while I'm here. I believe you can just load it up from the Nightfall, or just get it in the strike rotation, or just load it from the map and just do it on any variant, so you don't have to do it in the Nightfall. But there are 4 or 5 nodes that you have to find all throughout the map and turn those on so that they activate the Ascendant platforms that you can jump on at the end of the strike. So you take down the warden at the end, and then the big hole that's left in the back of the map, you jump out onto the ascendant platforms, and that will take you around to where there's a chest, which will then ultimately give you the truth. I will link a couple of videos for where to find the nodes and the full description on how to do the truth quest. I believe there is one I did see, I can't remember who it was, but I will link it in the show notes of how to do the truth quest in under a minute. Or they describe how to do it in under a minute. Not actually do the quest in a minute. But you know what I mean.
Do we really know what you mean, though? How do we know if we know what you mean if we don't know what you meant? Know what I mean?
I know
But
what
how do
I mean,
you know
so
that you
that's
know
good
what you
enough.
mean? What if you don't really know what you mean? What if we're really all just in a non-linear existence and we've all just been saying these random things over and over again for eternity without realizing it?
Well, as long as I get to play Destiny over and over, I don't care.
All right, fair enough.
Another thing that I was going to point out is that I've already completed the truth quest with my first character this week, and then I went through the Menagerie with my second character, and I got the scrap of paper to drop again. So I believe that you can get this on every single character, but I'm not sure whether you have to complete the truth quest first for it to then count on the next person, or if you've still got it active on the first character, it doesn't then drop. Not entirely sure as yet. But I found that quite interesting that you can do it on multiple characters. So by the time I do it on the second character, it'll be a 750 drop, so I can then dismantle the other one. A question though regarding the quest steps. I know it drops from the final boss in the Menagerie this week, but is it going to drop from the final boss every week? Bungie haven't kind of explained that, whether it's always going to be guaranteed to be a drop, or whether it's going to be tied to that ogre in the second week rotation.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
How did we even find out that it was from the Menagerie? Did Bungie tell us that, or
No, I
did
think
we learn it
somebody
from the
just went and
YouTuber?
played and it dropped, and then
Yeah.
Reddit
The
blew
nerds
up
told
and
us.
YouTube blew up, and
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So speaking of Anorak, our Merengue boss for week 2, how was your experience with him? I run it 2 or 3 times now, and that first one was rough because I think all 6 of us did not know what the mechanic was at first and didn't know what we were doing. And
Oh, you mean the boss?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
were
yeah,
you?
yeah, we
Did
probably-
you do
we
it with
probably
me
said-
one of those times?
not the first couple times.
Okay.
I mean, the second time I ran with Night Demon, but the first time it was like, okay, we're here, and there's Thrall, and there's witches, and there's death. So yeah, so we figured out fairly quickly, kill the Thrall, grab the orb, throw the orb at the giant boss Anorak, who's a giant ogre trying to kill you with his eye beam. That'll drop a shield and then just pour damage into him. But it took us a minute to figure that out because we're all sort of running around going, okay, there are these Thrall, what are we doing with them? There are these things dropping. And then the witches showed up, and it was just bad times. So yeah, this boss, much tougher than the last boss. So I'm kind of curious to see what they throw at us for the third week. Did you guys have any better experience with it the first time around, or did you also run around with 5 blueberries going, oh my god, the world's on fire, we're all going to die?
No, I figured out pretty quick because from the first week, I kind of inferred that the boss was going to be immune immediately, right? So when he's immune immediately, there's always some kind of mechanic, right? So I didn't shoot anything, I didn't panic or anything like that. And then I got killed by one of those exploding thralls, and then I saw the drop, and I was like, huh, I know what to do with these things. So, I mean, for me, it was pretty easy. But members of our clan kept asking me to help them out because I'm one of the highest light in the clan. And they're like, hey, we need your light to help us out. And Detrick was one, Frosty was one. I think Pan was one. He'll probably yell at me. I don't know. But there were other people that kept asking me for help, right? So after I did it, like I was very reluctant to do it again because it is a pain. It was a pain.
This week for Pokemon Go Fest.
And like I said, it probably wasn't him, smartass, whatever.
We should backmask some of this so we can have secret satanic messages in the podcast.
I mean, you asked me how it was for me, and I'm telling you how it was, and you're doing this. So I can say how it was, or I can not.
It's not my fault you can't talk while we're talking.
It kind of is your fault because you're talking.
It's absolutely
in a weird way. If you were talking normally, that'd be one thing, but you're being just, I don't know, not conducive to the cause.
Carry on.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, because of all the different modifiers that were, to me, I think this was way worse than last week. Because I mean, just the blackout in itself, with all the knights roaming around, was hell, right? And then the thrall, they have arc melees, so it was arc burn with blackout. So even the little thralls were one shotting you. So it was ridiculous. So as a way of kind of entertaining myself, whenever one of our clanmates would ask me for help, we'd all line up, waiting for the boss to spawn. And I'm like, all right, now what you want to do is you want to try to one shot this guy as fast as you can. So everybody unload all your heavy as fast as you can. So when he spawned, that shield wasn't visible, even though he was invulnerable. So everybody just blew all their rockets and heavy ammo, and then they're like, "Oh my god, he's immune!" I'm like, "Yeah, I know." So I got so. But yeah, it's like, you made me go through this hell. I'm gonna have my fun, right? So they just blew their loads on the boss that you couldn't kill, and then they had no heavy. So the rest of the mats are all running around the map trying to collect the heavy and kill the boss. Oh, that was so entertaining. And then I had my Well of Radiance Warlock. So I'm like one of the few people that are staying alive, because anytime I go in danger, I just drop my well. It's just staying alive. While everybody else is like permadead. And then I went on my hunter to help somebody else. And then I got to feel the wrath of dying forever. Was not enjoyable. Because the hunter, you can dodge, but apparently when you dodge and go invisible, all the enemies still know where you are. Haha! It's amazing.
Something I wanted to point out from the truth conversation was that we now have 3 rockets in the magazine, or in the chamber. How fantastic is that? Destiny 1
It's amazing.
OG. It's amazing. I thought we were going to get it back with the 2 rockets in the chamber when it was nerfed in Destiny 1. But they've gone back to the old school, and it's 3 rockets, and that's it.
See, you say that. But immediately, when I realized that it was the 3 rocket, the first thing that came to my mind, the Whisper, is the Whisper, man. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to bring it back pre-nerf, and then they're going to be like, oh, well, we didn't know that this. So now you only get 2 rockets in the chamber, and the tracking isn't as aggressive. 100% they're going to nerf it. 100%. Because they did the same thing with the Sleeper Simulant, and they did the same thing with the Whisper, right? They're giving it to us pre-nerf, and then they're saying, oh my god, what's happening? We had no idea that this was going to be so powerful. Now we need to nerf it. Their whole D1 memory apparently doesn't exist, so...
But it's a different thing, though. It's still it's a rocket launcher with rockets. Once you use those rockets, they're gone. You're not getting your rocket back. You're not pulling rockets out of the air. It's just...
It doesn't matter. It's still strong. Just like with the Sleeper Simulant.
It's not game breaking. It's not game breaking like this Whisper.
Right. Yeah. It's not game breaking in the same way. I mean,
did you not hear me talking about killing Guardians behind cover with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not... They had Queenbreaker in the game for 6 months that was doing double the aim assist damage, and until they figure that out.
But that's an actual bug.
You can throw a grenade launcher over the top of a rock to kill a Guardian, but it's like you said, it doesn't do the DPS in boss phases, so they're not going to be worried about it as much. And it's not as strong as Sleeper Simulant, where you've got all that ammo in the mag to just walk into the Gambit area and kill all those Guardians over and over and over again. It's a completely different beast. I think it's going to be left as it is, to be honest.
Yeah, but if that were the case, they never would have nerfed the Wolf Howl, the shotgun, man, not the Wolf Howl.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but now that nerf was actually a buff. Remember when we talked about it? I was like, God, it doesn't really sound like a nerf to me. Turns out, actually a buff. I'll get into that later.
I want to get into that later. That is my weapon focus.
Isn't it? Oh my god, it's so good.
Why wait till later? Let's go now. So what are we talking about? What's the new shotgun hunt?
Okay, so the Queen shotgun, which I can't remember the damn name right now. Lord of Wolves, that's it, right? So remember how they quote unquote nerfed it by taking away the 10 shots after you get a kill, and you have to manually reload to get those 10 shots?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, manually reloading to get those 10 shots lets you just one shot a Guardian flat out. Flat out. And the range is greater than the damn the shotgun that's known for its range. The come Come on, help me out here. The slug exotic shotgun.
Chaperone.
Thank you. The chaperone. It's got more range than the chaperone, and it can one-shot a guardian with a 10-round burst. And if that's not bad enough, when you pick up a brick inside PvP, you get 60 rounds. I'm sorry, 30 rounds. So that's 6 regular 5 burst shots, which still hurt a lot, or 3 one-shot kills at a range that is equivalent to like a pulse rifle. Range is stupid.
It's absolutely insane. You can activate the perk before you even fire the weapon. So going into PvP, I will link an Aztecross video where he shows you how filthy the weapon is at the moment in PvP. That you activate the weapon first, and then you get that, god awful blast of all those ammo, in your face. And
is it Aztecross that was like doing kind of like a respawn rant, like Bungie, you have to nerf this now. I hate it.
I think so.
Yeah. He was advocating for it to get nerfed now. He goes, this is not one of those things you patch at the end of the season. This needs to be patched now. He was very upset that he kept getting destroyed by it, man.
Yeah, he said he ran across somebody in Rumble, I believe, which drew his attention to it, and then he picked it up and went into normal play and just found how devastating it is to use. And
it's absolutely
I'm going to be taking this into Iron Banner next week. I really am. It looks fantastic. So they're not going to be able to patch it in between, hopefully. But a tip for this
they'll just pull out of the game before Iron Banner. They're like, oh, you've all lost your shotgun.
Lord of Wolves has been temporarily disabled for the next 7 days due to...
Saladin came back and was like, I need those wolves back, guys.
Do you remember that time they just... they banned Iron Banner for the week? They went, we're just going to postpone that for a week because there's a game-breaking bug.
No. Okay, Bungie, here's what needs to happen.
Star Wars needs to come back.
You need to update Xur for this week. He needs to sell the Lord of Wolves. And while we had laser tag Iron Banner with Prometheus Lens or laser tag
that was
Trials,
so fun.
We need to have fiery Iron Banner with everyone with their Lord of Wolves.
It makes sense, right? We're all wolves. We use. Thematically, it's solid.
Oh, Bungie, give me a quest for Iron Banner when Saladin gets here. Let everyone get the Lord of Wolves if they don't have it yet. And let it be a Lord of Wolves only playlist for a week. That's the only weapon you can use. You can either shoot people with it or melee. That's it. It'll be like Mayhem Iron Banner. This is what I want. Bungie, please make this happen. If not this Iron Banner, do it next Iron Banner. That would be amazing. I want it.
A tip: if you have all the other exotics from the Forsaken and you don't have Lord of Wolves, remember, if you go to Xur this weekend up until the reset and get the Fated Engram, you do have a really high chance of it to be dropping for the Lord of Wolves, as well as doing the spider.
It's not a really high. If it's the only one you don't have, it's 100% chance of it dropping.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But a tip for running with Lord of Wolves, if you run with double scavenger perks for shotgun on your armor, guess what you get in PvP?
A lot more shotgun bullets. A lot more sniping range shotgun rounds. Yeah. Dude, it's so dirty. It's so disgusting.
We got completely off track of what we've been talking about.
What are you talking about? No. That is the track that we absolutely need to be on.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the track you need to give the people what they want, which is more wolves.
All the wolves. So many wolves.
Okay. So now this is all stemming because I honestly have not played with the Lord of Wolves. I think I've this week. This is from the patch where they allow the perk to be activated on a reload instead of a kill.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can reload it before you even take a shot.
Yeah, so that'll activate your release the wolves perk, which they also added the normal burst damage was decreased by 20%, which doesn't really matter. But release the wolves on non-precision damage is now increased by 23% and precision damage by 34%. So they gave you more power and allow you to proc that release the wolves perk.
See, people think that this is a mistake, but Bungie knew, thematically speaking, this was perfect for the Iron Banner. It's like, hey, we're just going to give them something, and then we'll patch it, at the end of the
we just want you to melt your friends, that's all.
Yeah, that's
all. Friends, melt your enemies.
As we're talking of Lord of Wolves and Iron Banners and some banners, Parody, would you like to take us through your favourite part of the 12 this week?
Absolutely. I get to be a samurai again.
Woo woo.
I was hoping I would be a samurai, and they have brought back the samurais. And more importantly, if you've got the year 1 Iron Banner ornaments, you can put that onto your brand new fancy Season of Opulence Iron Banner armor.
Oh,
I am
yeah.
stupidly excited about this.
Oh yeah.
So and there is a change to Iron Banner this season. So, this season's Iron Banner armor will be acquired through a quest, which they said Iron Banner quest in the calendar when they brought it up. We were all going, ooh, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? So, each piece of armor will be granted upon completing its associated quest step. Each piece of armor will also be a powerful reward, because that's the point of Iron Banner, to give you that power. After unlocking the armor, the armor piece, it will be available just in the loot pool with random rolls to drop again and again and again. So, inevitably, you'll receive 3 pieces of armor. You'll be trying to get the 4th one, and you'll never get that good roll of it, because that's how life works out. And and if you're a veteran player who earned the Iron Banner ornaments in the past, this season's armor is compatible with all year 1 Iron Banner ornaments.
Love it.
And the Iron Banner armor will now roll with enhanced perks. It's also been added,
That's my favourite part of it, the enhanced perks, because they were talking about it in the last Iron Banner, right back at the start of the season. Oh, it's coming with enhanced perks, and then they went mute for the next couple of Iron Banners. I think
because they had to fix the shaders that weren't dropping, and the Saladin had some bugs. Some of the wolves got sick. They had some things to work out.
But fleas are a thing with wolves. It would seem.
Enhanced perks.
Because I play Banner more than any other thing, I'm really excited that I can now get more enhanced armor than anything else. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes. Yeah, and of course, new shaders, new emblem, new sparrow. That'll be obtainable through objectives that must be completed through the Season of Opulence. The bounties will continue to grant rewards and Iron Banner tokens, which you can take your Iron Banner tokens you have sitting in your vault to spend on new Iron Banner stuff this week. And most importantly, Andy, are you listening? Iron Banner and increased Valor. So if you're trying to get your Valor resets, if you're going for one of these pinnacle weapons, if you're grinding for something in the Crucible, starting when Iron Banner drops on the reset on June 18th until Iron Banner leaves us at reset on June 25th in your local time zone, you can get double your Valor. So all the Valor you're playing, you get it twice. You can be a samurai, twice over. You can be a hunter in a cloak, twice over. You can be a badass samurai warlock, twice over. And just go to the 12 this week and look at this beautiful animation of our 3 spinning guardians and their beautiful samurai armor. I am stupidly excited for this. I want to wear giant wolves on my shoulders again. I want to have giant horns. I want to be a badass Titan samurai. And now I can be, and now I can use my ornaments again. Thank you, Bungie, for letting me have these ornaments. And for those of you who are interested in the weapon drops, which, there's weapons too, we're getting the shotgun back, and we're getting the rocket launcher. The Roar of the Bear is the rocket launcher, and the shotgun is has a name that I can't remember right now.
Gunner's Axe.
That's it.
Yeah, that one. And there will also be a fancy new emblem you could have with an angry-looking wolf that might have rabies, so be careful if you apply it.
No, I'm going to stick with my heavy as the burden, bum.
No. That's gone.
No.
No burdens, no favors. It's all
2,500 kills?
Nope.
You are joking.
Nope.
I'm rocking that
Nope.
all week.
Nope.
People are going to fear me.
We're going to delete that emblem.
People are going to pity you. Yeah.
They're going to be like, "Oh, this poor man." They're going to send you. They're going to send respawn messages of hate, and he'll be banned again. They're going to send you messages of condolences.
They're going to send me messages of hate to ban me. Whoa! Hold up a second.
No. I mean, they're going to send you messages of anger, and they're going to send Night Demon messages of condolences, and they're going to send me messages going, "Why are you here?"
Although, the fact that this is my first ban, I'm actually shocked. Considering all the things I do to people in game, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Must have been building for a while. You finally passed that threshold of bannable offense.
I guess so.
Or you've ignored the right person. I don't know.
Somebody out here knows this, right? If you teabag in game, is that considered offensive? Can you get banned for doing things like that?
Probably.
Can you though?
I don't know.
Because it's just
I'd report
you're
you.
just crouching up and down. Because like what if
that's
you're
not crouching up and down? Is it? We've been over.
What if you're a hunter main, right? And you kill somebody, right? And you're trying to double tap B to do your dodge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which I do every time I play my hunter.
Exactly, right? Or you just don't have a roll on at the time, and you keep you keep repeatedly hitting it, trying to roll, and you don't have one. Or if like you're a hunter main and you start playing like a warlock and you try to do your dodge only to realize you don't have one, but you've already, crouched 7, 8, 30 times before you realize.
So Respawn's just trying to work out that Charlie horse in his leg. That's all. It's not teabagging. He just has a little stiffness in the legs. He's trying to work out. That's all. The hunter.
No, it's a workout. It's called squats, man.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right, man.
Just trying to work the leg. It's important to have leg day. Arms day is gone from Destiny. Leg day might come back. We'll see. Maybe we'll have leg day this season.
And especially for a hunter, right? Squats are important because that's how we get all of our jumps. You know what I mean? Warlocks don't really need to worry about it because they still haven't quite figured out how to jump up, although they do know how to jump down, which is a feat in its own right. But
and hunters need those jumps because gotta help them. Hunter jumping is just a painful thing to watch. They're really more of a ground creature.
Right. So if somebody's teabagging you, perhaps they're just hunter mains and they're trying to do their dodge to reload their weapons, and they just are confused.
So that Charlie horse in the leg from running away from all the Titans shoulder charging them. It's hard to say which.
Yeah.
We'll leave it up to you, good listener, to figure it
out. This week though, right? Since I'm doing all these sniper kills for the for that weapon, I haven't really. Titan shoulder charges haven't been a thing, mostly because they're also trying to snipe me, right? So it's not like, I'm just sniping them from a distance. I am, but they're not actually actively trying to shoulder charge me. They're also trying to snipe me. So, I just happen to be slightly better at it. And I'm definitely not tooting my own horn when it comes to sniping because I am a bad sniper. I will be the first one to tell you I am not a sniping kind of person in any first-person shooter, right? But yeah, it hadn't been that much of a problem this week with my hunter as far as the charges go. But on my warlock, I have, like I said, I've been using that blink. So whenever I see, because I can hear the Titan going do 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 with his big foot stomps, right? So I'll blink one direction or another, and he'll completely miss me, and then I'll shotgun him. So there's that. And because it's anti-Titan, exotic, and everybody at Bungie being Titan mains, that's obviously going to get nerfed immediately.
Cue the music.
So yeah, no, I'm done. I'm good.
Why? I don't understand why every week you get like 5-10 minutes to moan about Titans and the shoulder charge. Titans do this, Titans do that, and we don't say anything.
I just said I don't have to worry about it.
No, but you do. Because every week you have
because
to
as Titans you don't have anything to worry about. That's why.
Yeah, we have to worry about hunters sniping us from across the map.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but you also have a sniper. That's apples to oranges.
No, I don't.
No, Titans
I have them.
snipers.
They sit in the vault. They collect.
Oh, they just can't equip them? Is that what happens?
Exactly.
You remember Destiny 1?
The gloves are too big. You've seen the Titan armor. It's too big. You try to put the thing on your shoulder, you're either hitting the spikes or the giant, cheese grater arms, or
the wolf
shoulders. Yeah,
or the new duck shoulders.
There's
just no way to put a sniper on your shoulder. You can't use it as a Titan. It's impossible.
Where did the legendary weapon go? The steel piecer. Which character was it exclusively worn on in Destiny 1?
I have no recollection of what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Definitely not a hunter specific legendary exotic.
Look, my son says he doesn't use a sniper, they're for hunters.
True.
True. Right.
There you go.
But the funny thing is I don't use a sniper on my hunter. I never did. I use it on my warlock every now and again. Stand in the rift, just keep getting those bullets.
This is where we found you're going wrong. All these weeks of moan. Titans this, Titans that. You're not using the sniper. You're not using the hunter effectively enough. There you go. Sorted, cleared up. No more rants about your blooming Titan shoulder charges.
I'm not ranting.
No, but every week you have to say one thing. You always get it in every week. We don't even have to go off topic. You go, I'm going to go right over here and talk about this, and then I'm going to bring it back. That's it. That's all you do.
See, no more. You go. Now you got the whole shtick.
No more.
You're just upset because you're a Titan. If you weren't a Titan, you would understand all these things that I'm saying.
You don't think Titans get killed by other Titans? There's Titan on Titan violence, my friend. Do we need to talk about the Titan on Titan violence? And not even the arc shoulder chargers. The shield bashers out there. There's Titan on Titan violence. Titans don't care who they're murdering. They're just out to murder. They've defended the 6 fronts to keep all you people safe. And now that that's happened, it's open season. Everyone's a target.
So kind of a positive thing regarding the Titans, right? I know it's weird. I know at least one of you have played with a friend of mine, Staged Tube, because I think it was Parody that even said you like him better than me, and how all of my friends are better than I am. But he has been playing Anthem for months now.
Mistake.
That game
He
doesn't
just-
exist.
He hasn't
Nobody plays
touched
Anthem.
Destiny. Listen, no.
Mistake.
And then he saw Peregrine Greaves had come back, and it was funny because I jumped online a few days ago, and he jumped online, which I normally see him jump online, but this time he invited me to play Destiny. I'm like, the fuck? And I'm all like, you're back? He goes, well, yeah, what do I play? I was like,
and he's like, why would I need this game anymore?
yeah, no. I'm like, so you're back to Destiny? I'm like, dude, that's cool. He goes, well, of course I'm back. I'm like, well, what do you mean, of course? He goes, well, what do I play? I'm like, Titan. He goes, okay, how do I play? You like
Up
running
close
around with your
and
infinite
personal?
punches? He's like, yes. And
Yeah.
what just came back in the game? I'm like, oh my God, you're going to be. He goes, yes, I am. So Peregrine Greaves
now-
brought Stage 2 back to Destiny 2.
So now we know. So Respawn likes to hang out with all the people that like to murder hunters. So he's just trying to get in good with them. So maybe they'll treat him better in the Crucible. That's all it is.
It's like that.
Well, I mean,
It's like the rap star, that really tiny, small rap star that hides behind all those big mountainous kind of bodyguards. This is what Respawn is like. We go into Crucible, there's a line of Titans, and there's one bitty hunter at the back sniping.
listen, you're 33% right, and I'll tell you where you're right. Right, the only part that you're correct on is whenever I play PvP, I use meat shields, 100%. I will walk
That's-
behind somebody
that's
else,
what
that
we're
then
there
get
for.
popped by the sniper, and then I'll come out and snipe the guy that just sniped him. I absolutely 100%. That's how I play. Right? You want to be the dumbass to go out there and look down range before you can, assess the situation. Go ahead. You go be my meat shield. You be the bullet sponge, and when he
Look,
kills you,
I don't care.
I get to kill you.
To be honest,
Right?
I really don't care. So many times this week, I've run straight through a doorway. You could tell me in slow motion, my head cocks to the left, and I see the red glint down the other end, and going, I have made so much of a mistake here. And my head just go boom. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and that's what I depend on is people
I
doing
made
stupid
a
shit like
poor-
that.
See,
Right? So
see,
that's the one part that you're correct on.
we're just
uh,
It
we're
did.
just drawing
It
out the
literally
snipers for
slowed
you to
down
then
every
take
time I
out.
went through the doorway. I saw myself slow down and go, I have made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
And I
But
didn't
see-
learn the first time. I just kept doing it.
Or the
I was
first
like,
10
this is a
times.
different
Or the first
doorway.
20
It'll be
times.
clear.
Or the first
No.
30 times.
Yeah, the line
Right.
of sight's different. I'll get sniped from a slightly different angle in this doorway. It'll be fine.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And especially if you're like me and you use the very first raid sniper, that thing close range will snipe you.
Alone as a god. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't care. Close range, long range, you're getting sniped. Are we in a hallway or are we in, a field? Doesn't matter. You're getting sniped with that gun. That's just how it's going to be. But aside from that, okay, so the other things that you're kind of right but kind of wrong about, right, is I'm friends with Titans because before, all this one-shot shoulder charging nonsense started happening, I actually used to play a Titan, just as much as I played my Warlock.
Wait.
Not as much as I played my Hunter.
There was a time before that.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I'm not
Tube and
familiar
I,
with this time.
whenever I play with Stage Tube or I play with like even Blue Screen, right, we tend to play as Titans, myself included, because I don't know what it is. We have this like synergy, right? It's like if he's a Titan and I'm a Titan, we do so much better like
He's
as
a
a team.
You're a Titan.
know?
We're all Titans.
Yeah. So I mean that's why I have Titan friends because I used to play as a Titan, and don't get me wrong, I love my Titan. I still very much
I know
enjoy
this
all
is a
the
really
things that
good
they're with.
conversation, but I don't think a lot of people care about listening to you being a Titan in previous life. Should we just go on with the
It
rest of the
was this life.
podcast?
No, because it was this life.
No.
Maybe this is what the people are here for.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I mean they're here for the
I would like to listen to you talk about Titans all day, but just not on the podcast
Mm.
because I've got to edit it all out and then just go.
But why do you have to edit it all out? You've been told by even our own fans that they're here more for the entertainment than the information. Information is nice, but
they're not here
be
to hear
entertained.
you talk about Titans.
No, but me taka usually results in you guys taka and back and forth, and that is what they're here for.
Every time you do that, I just think you're driving one of them tuk-tuk cars.
You mean every time we do what? Oh,
It's like, what the hell
sorry.
is he on about? Tuck, 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 tuck.
No, okay. So me being in multilingual houses, taka taka is how they say like somebody talking too much. You know, they taka taka. They keep going. They keep drowning out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now all
Sorry.
I can picture is two Titans and one Hunter sitting in a tiny little car going
Taka taka taka
down the
taka.
street, and the guy from The Simpsons being like, "It's not fun to make fun of large people in small cars."
So we move on to the next part of the TWAB.
So Respawn and 45,474 other Guardians have gotten through the raid this week. How was it? Do you have sweet loot? Do you have the SMG? Do you have all the sweet gear?
Respawn. Where is he?
So 45,474 Guardians have gotten through that 75th Guardian. We're not counting him anymore. He left us. He's gone now. He's dead. They've bested Galron within the first week, and they are thinking about purchasing their Bungie Reward Raid jacket until 11:59 Pacific time on June 18th. So you've got a couple more days until reset on Tuesday, until Iron Banner time to get your raid jacket.
That
Which
is
I
a
will not
short
be
time,
getting.
isn't it?
Night Spawn, yes. Night Demon will not be getting. I've combined you two now. It's going downhill fast.
Night Spawn. I love it.
Things are good. I can speak good. I don't know what you're talking
Has
about.
he disappeared from the actual chat?
No, he's here.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't even show him being muted. Maybe he just walked away out of disgust. Maybe he got into his car, went out with a sniper rifle. It's hard to say.
Because I was looking at this week at Bungie, I wasn't actually looking at Discord to find out where he is. So should we continue talking without him then?
I guess we shall. He'll come back and scream at us when he's ready.
So should we discuss contest for the raid, the day one raid modify? Would it be called a modifier?
I don't know if I have much to say on the contest since I didn't raid. I haven't raided.
Well, to be honest, I was listening to Fireteam Chat, their podcast from IGN, and I'll link it in the show notes.
Testing.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There you are.
I was just saying about listening to IGN Respawn. They were talking about the contest mode for the new raid, saying that it was quite a good thing to have, and they found it quite interesting that they decided to go with a day one raid. I know that we did it for Crota and Dark Below raid back in Destiny 1, but they were saying maybe the reason why they did that is so that they could get the raid and the new content out there for people, and then they could then focus on doing all the announcements like with the Stadia and the Shadowkeep later on in the weekend with E3 coming up. It was kind of a packed week and an even more packed weekend for games going forward. And I think they just didn't want the focus to be taken away from their game at that point. So that's why we had game announcement, and then E3, and a lot of the focus went off on other games. But now,
So you think this is just going to be a one-time thing?
that's what IGN were thinking, that it was going to be just a one-time thing on day one, that maybe they could do it back again on a Friday and still have contests active for the raid and have different power levels to stop people from progressing too far. So you could still have that day one raid race. More people might be involved in it if they did it at a reasonable time like they've done in previous times.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because my biggest complaint about my day one raid was the light level, right? And I mean, the light level wouldn't have been so bad if I'd have had a better team, but they didn't take enough time to grind, and we didn't grind as a team. So that's,
I was thinking about this after what you were saying, listening back to the podcast. It's a bit hard because you all start at 700 light, and yes, if you've done all your power progressions and you've got your bounties and you've got everything kind of lined up and all the stars are aligned, the game will still take each person off on a different tangent to go and do different things. It's not like you can all do the same thing. You can do the majority of things, but say you had to go and do something over there and somebody else had to do something over there, you don't all seem to work together to power progress. Right. And I think that's a good thing about the game is, we all jump in and out of each other's games and help each other out as we're going forward and progressing. But on a day one raid race where you're just trying to fit in everything in those 6 hours. Because
Mm-hmm.
say you all started off and you all thought, oh, we're going to do strikes. So you do your first strike and somebody gets a good high power gear. Well, you all do for the first one. But then the third one, somebody gets a double drop. That's them hampered for the next part of you three continuing, because their thing is then you guys have got something else and your power's progressed. They could then even be hampered again by a third time of a third drop on the same item, and they're even further behind. See, it's not a kind of fair game in that way. And I think with the raid race being 6 hours, I think that, you know, maybe your team might have kind of come across things like that. Do you think? I think that's where people then start splintering off and going, oh, I've got to go and do this because this is going to be quicker if I can then get something over there and come back.
Yeah. And that's absolutely 100% right, considering how it was day one, and not just from the player perspective, but also from the dev perspective. They had to actually go in and do extra work to impede light level in certain encounters, and then go back and undo those changes, you know, after Worlds First was over, right? So if they just did it as normal, they wouldn't have to go in there and do any of these, you know, software changes, right? Potentially messing something up in the game somewhere else, as we know that may or may not happen, right? Bungie does one thing and breaks all these other things, right? So, I mean, it's easier if it's not day one raid.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still have a day one, just start it like when they normally do instead of that Tuesday.
But it's quite an interesting thing to activate this contest, isn't it? The modifier in it. Because let's say they did it on the Friday and everybody could get to 750. But with contest active, for the first the first day anyway, they could do it for longer if they wanted. For the first week, you could say have contest active, but it kind of stops people from kind of, you know,
the longer it goes,
like to get into the raid and further and faster.
The one downside about not having a day one raid is what we discussed previously, right? Let's say if you have it on a Thursday or a Friday instead of the Tuesday. Well, now all the people that play long term, you know, the hardcore ones and not the casuals, they have a higher advantage for the quote unquote raid release day because they're already max light or more, right? Just like me when I was talking to you guys, I didn't even use my Titan this week. I used it a little bit last week to get the tokens for the Chalice. This week I haven't even touched it, and I've got two characters that are, you know, 749.
Yeah,
almost 750.
Same with you. But then I've still got my Titan. I can then, I believe, if I then played him for the next couple of days, he'd be 750, and there'd be no issue.
Yeah.
So it's everything I'm now getting on the Warlock and my Hunter is 750, so I haven't got to worry about that. So taking into account also a tip, if you have got a highlight level person and you want to get something for your other character, Zer's here this weekend. So what I did was used my highest one, which was my Warlock at the time, 750 drops, and Zer sells things at 733. I then bought the gauntlets for the Titan, transferred them over. So that's improved his gauntlets by 10 light. So when I jump onto him later on, that's going to help progress the light even further. Shall we move on to the frequently asked questions for what's coming up with the new light, Shadowkeep, and Forsaken, and all that good stuff?
Oh my god, I think new light's been beaten to a pulp. Okay, so here's the TLDR.
Let's just
right,
go
with
over,
the new light.
Let's go over
everybody
the
gets
E3 roundup. Yeah, we'll call it the E3 roundup. Does that make it fair? So it's all the answers from what's come out from E3 over the last couple of days, when Bungie have been there doing Q&As with various different people. Although they're not saying too much, they're just answering a few questions that the community have regarding what's going to be in New Light, what's going to be in Forsaken, what's going to be in Shadowkeep, what can you do, what can you transfer, what can you not do. So yeah, go on then, take it away.
Okay, so the TLDR is this, right? Everybody gets Destiny for free, period, right? You get to access all of the content, all of the areas for free, right? What you're limited on is content. Like you can go into Spider's Lair, but you can't do any of the not that's a bad example. You can go to you can access Nessus, right? But you can't do the Last Wish raid, things like that, right? So you'll be able to access the areas, but you can't do the higher level content for the DLC purchasers, right? So that's basically how that goes. And as far as your save data goes, let's say if I play on Xbox and I have everything on Xbox and I go to PC, well, all of my weapons, armor, and gear go with me, even with the free to play versions. So even if I don't buy any of the expansions, I still have all my weapons and armor and gear. The thing is, I won't be able to access the raids and everything like that on the free to play PC that I would be able to access on my Xbox. So even though my save data comes over and I have all of my stuff, I can't do DLC activities until you buy the DLCs. And if you get drops on the PC version and then I jump back over to my Xbox, I have those drops on my Xbox. Okay? That's basically it. All of these weeks of them chit-chatting and this and that and the other, that's basically what it boils down to. Save game goes everywhere. Stuff that you get on your save game transfers over to your master console, whatever that is. And you can bring all your stuff to any console, but you just won't necessarily be able to access in-game type activities until you buy the DLC. Boom, done. Moving on.
So Bungie basically say that everything come September 17th is going to be converted to new light. So everything that you currently have at the moment will be converted to new light, and you will choose one save file. So say if you've got Xbox and PC, you have to make that decision regardless of how you feel, what you want to do. Just take a moment, think about what weapons you've got on one, what emblems you've got on another, what dialogue that you've got on another. Because I know a lot of people were saying, well, I've got year one dialogue on my PlayStation 4 or my Xbox from where I completed all these raids and I got all these emblems for doing that. But then I made the mistake of then jumping over to PC, but I've got really good weapons over here. I would personally go with what I've saved on the Xbox and the Xbox and PlayStation, because I'd want the emblems and the dialogue. I'd want to, continue my journey through Destiny 1 and 2 going forward. I can always try and get other roles. I might not necessarily get the best role on the PC of that amazing gun, but there's going to be new guns. There's always going to be a new hotness. Yes, you might have to regrind the raids to get certain things, but that's just me.
Or just go with whatever account has the better RNG.
Yeah,
because it's somebody that plays on PC, right? I have nearly every single exotic in the game on my Xbox, but in the PC, I've got almost nothing, and it's not for lack of trying, right? The RNG on my PC characters is different than the RNG on my Xbox characters, right? So, which one do you have better RNG with?
Yeah,
going forward,
personally, you're going to have to make the choice, and depending on what you want to do, you make the choice of which file is going to be maintained across all the different platforms going forward. They do say that the Forsaken and Forsaken Annual Pass content that be included in New Light will be, like Respawn said, the free roam on all destination, Strikes playlist, the Crucible playlist, Gambit and Gambit Prime playlists, and select Annual Pass content. They haven't said that Gambit Prime includes Reckoning. So is that going to be something that's kind of kept to the side? Is it going to be part of their a la carte style packages that you can then buy? Because they have mentioned that one of them is that you can buy an a la carte of the previous raids and exotic quests that we now currently have. So I believe that's Last Wish, Scourge, Outbreak Perfected Quest, and the Dungeon, I believe. So you can buy them as separate parts, but there'd be kind of a little separate part bundle.
Can you buy them as separate parts? Because I thought they were just taking the whole Forsaken package, lowering the price to $40, and that would give you then everything that came in Forsaken.
That's one of your options.
Yeah,
all three seasons. Oh,
but you also have the option to buy each DLC individually, should you choose to do so.
Oh, interesting. So you could say, I don't care about the armories. don't buy Black Armory at all and just get Seas of the Drifter, or just get Seas of Opulence stuff going forward.
Or if you're like Panoramics
fancy.
and you hate if you're like Blue Screen and you hate the Drifter, don't get don't get the game in DLC.
I will not play your Seas of the Drifter. I do not care about you. I will never speak to you again. We are not friends.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So
they basically say that the Forsaken content available only purchases include the Forsaken campaign, Year 2 raids and dungeons, and exotic quests. So you can purchase that separately.
Yeah, I mean that's where the gist of it. You get to keep all your loot and gear across all your platforms. Pick your one true platform. I know one thing they did say. Someone asked. Say you're working on getting X number of kills on a DLC specific weapon. Say I've got my Outbreak Prime and I'm working on getting a certain number of kills for it. Can I take that Outbreak Prime in the DLC onto a platform I've not bought the DLC, and does that still transfer that progress back to the quest I'm working on? They said we're not sure, so Outbreak Prime is probably a bad example. But basically, if you're working on getting X number of kills in a DLC specific weapon, can you progress that quest step on a platform where you don't own that DLC? You'll have the weapon.
As long as you're not going into a DLC specific zone, right? So if the Outbreak Prime is DLC specific, you won't be able to go into the Outbreak Prime area.
Right. Well, yeah, that was a bad example. But if you're working on some quest step on a DLC specific weapon, can you play it on non DLC content and progress that quest step? Was the question someone asked, and they said, we're not sure. I think it was Griffin on Twitter said basically, we're not sure. We'll have to take it back and find out. That's one of those, I'm sure.
Speaking of which, we'll have more information. Is the truth a DLC or is it truth for everyone?
Truth is
annual pass.
Yeah, truth. I'm pretty sure because Seasons of Opulence is all annual pass.
So that's a good example right there, right? So we all have the truth, right? So what if we took the truth and then we went over to PC, right? So we have
have the truth.
You still have the
outside of a specific area, right? I know we'll have the truth, but like those things, the I got it, the treasure maps, right? Yeah. Will those be up? Yeah. Will you get progress on those? Because you don't have to be in the
if it's
specific area,
and you're actually working towards it. I don't see how the game suddenly knows.
Will those pursuits carry over?
I don't see how the game would suddenly say, "Oh, you're playing this version of Destiny. Nothing that you do in this version progresses anything." If you're already in your pursuits tab, it's like if you've already got the weapon and you take it over to a non-DLC specific platform, but you're just playing on that platform, you can still use those weapons. They're not going to negate you from using those weapons or the armor pieces because you've got it on something else that you have got the content on.
Yeah. You and Reach make a good point. Yeah. So yeah, as long as it doesn't involve going to a DLC specific area, you should still, if it's just go get 500 kills with this gun in the game, that should work. But yeah, if it's go do the 0 hour quest or go do, whatever, the truth quest, and you don't own that content on your PC or your Stadia or your PlayStation, whatever, then that makes sense.
I mean,
so as long as you get to those areas to do the game,
you had to have the different part of the content to access, say, specific nightfalls. So if you don't own Curse of Osiris, you couldn't play the Curse of Osiris nightfalls. You could only play the ones that came up in the rotation that you could play. So maybe it could be something like that. The game would lock you out of specific things that you can't get into on the free-to-play version or the new light version.
Oh yeah, it'll be like when you go into the Nightfall playlist and choose a Nightfall strike that's not one that everybody has. It'll give you that little pop-up. Not all players can do this activity.
Yeah.
Ineligible for this quest or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they do say with each platform that you're going to be tied to playing other players in that platform at the moment. So Stadia players will just be playing other Stadia players, although they may be players that have migrated from other systems. So they're not all going to be day one Guardians.
Right.
You'll only be able to play with Stadia people for the time being. They haven't said whether it's going to be cross-play with Steam, but it could be something in the future.
They did say it won't cross-play. They did say that. That's a thing.
Right,
yes.
right. For now,
for now
at launch. Yeah, cross.
Well, I mean, think about it. Do you want it to be crossplay? PvE, okay, crossplay would be cool. But could you imagine as a controller console user going up against a PC mouse and keyboard user?
I was going to say console and Stadia crossplay. I would like to see, mouse and keyboard and PC. Console and Stadia, I would like to see being in one multiplayer pool. The PC folks, sorry, I think you need to be in your own pool. The game works differently on PC. Period.
Yeah,
it does.
I think putting controller player,
example,
right? And there's also there's a number of things you can do. Super high end gaming PC. Some people have. I mean, there's still a breadth of experience on the PC, or and again, I have no idea if there's how technically feasible this is. Say, if you're on a PC and you want to play in the console pool, we're going to limit you to 30 frames a second. We're going to limit you to the console experience because I don't want you coming in with double my frames in the same game I'm trying to play. Wiping the map with me. Again, no idea if that's possible, but cross play and cross save is an important distinction. I think I might have misspoken last week about it too.
Yeah,
because you can cross save, but you
so
still have to play with
the
your
new
own console,
Xbox
folks.
project, if and when that, not if, when the new Xbox comes out, if it is the way that they say it is, and it's up to 120 frames a second,
they say a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, if Destiny played at 120 frames a second on the newer Xbox, like let's say the newer Xbox is backward compatible, and then upscales whatever games you play to 120 frames a second, okay, then crossplay would be more feasible. But even right now, right, even at my 30 frames a second, mouse and keyboard is enabled on the Xbox for some games, right? Destiny is not one of them, which makes no sense to me. If Destiny would just enable M&K on the consoles, I'd go to M&K all the time and never come back, right? And I don't know why they haven't done that yet. What is the thinking behind that, Bungie? Come on, just go in there.
It's probably on the list of things to do gets pushed down lower and lower as new stuff comes out. Now I am really curious to see now that Stadia is out, because they've obviously put a ton of work into the back end developing Destiny for an entirely new platform. Now that those resources are not being used, because maintaining Stadia and maintaining stuff is a lot less resource heavy than spinning something up and getting it working for the first time. I wonder if we're going to see sort of a nice little boost of things coming out of the game now that they have sort of all the resources back working on the game and not working on standing up a whole new platform in the background and doing whatever else had to do around that and PC launch and all this other launch and all the free to play. There's a ton of stuff that has happened in the background to make all of these changes coming in September happen. So it'll be interesting to see, sort of what we see here in the next year. Now that these resources can be reallocated towards the game itself, what we're going to see come from that.
That's fair. And also, I'd like to make a correction. I know I've been talking to people offline about it. I'm not sure if I've said anything in the podcast about colorblind not working anymore on consoles, colorblind mode, right? I'm one of those people out there that I'm not fully colorblind, but how do I describe it? I'm colorblind to certain colors that are close together in the spectrum, right? Like pinks and reds, I can't tell the difference. Blacks and purples, things like that. Things that are close in the spectrum, I can't tell the difference. So I turn on yellow-green colorblind, and what that did is it made like your ammo drops. All my ammo drops are like fluorescent neon colors, right? That way you see what they are no matter where you are on the right. But one of the big things that it did for me is you guys' like major and boss bars are yellow, right? But in a lot of the game, that yellow blends into the background, and I can't see the health bar, especially when it comes to like the Leviathan raid with all that gold around. I can't see a lot of these health bars. I don't know how low they are, and some things like that are important. Like when you're fighting what's his face at the end, the big robot, right? You got to see his health bar, and more importantly, you have to see his shield icon, which is right under his health bar, and it's white against a gold background next to a yellow bar, and I literally cannot see that shield, right? Like I remember saying before, I had to kind of, think, okay, it takes 4 rocket shots to bring down the shield, so I use 3, and when they say bring it down, I'll use the 4th. Even not being able to see the bar, I have to, know in my mind, this is how many shots it'll take before it'll pop. Right. So anyway, I turned off colorblind mode to find out what exactly was going on, and found out that colorblind mode is actually on, but only kind of. Right. So colorblind works for everything except the boss bar colors. Right. Whoops. They still blend in, but all of your loot drops and all of your ammo drops and everything like that, the colorblind is working for those, but it stopped working on the yellow bars for some reason. So when I said it's not working at all, I just wanted to make a correction because it is working, kind of.
Just not where it needs to necessarily.
Yeah, I need to see how much health the bosses have, man.
What I do like about this new cross save thing that they've got going is that if I go over to the PC, play a couple of games with friends over there, anything that I get reward wise over there, weapons, armor, loot, just anything, would then be able to be picked up on my Xbox, regardless of what I've bought on PC. I find that quite interesting.
Yeah.
That
Well, it's interesting too that they've had it ready to go since before D2 launch, but for capital R reasons, Activision, they couldn't put it in. So it's and I know that's one thing. With the crossplay, they said it's absolutely something we're interested in doing someday, but we have a lot of our plate to chew through first. So crossplay hopefully is coming. And again, now that Bungie is in control of the fate of Destiny, it's not Activision, it's not anybody else. It's Bungie and the people who play the game. So hopefully, crossplay is something we'll be able to see in a while. But cross save is a huge step in the right direction. Yeah. And again, since everything loads from the server anyway, which is why it takes so long to load anything in the game, and why they keep moving my chalice around so I can't find it when I'm trying to put runes into it. It all loads from the server, so it just makes sense that it all stores on the server anyway. When I play the game, just let me access that same data store on the other platforms.
So they do say that
you're going to have cross save.
I was going to say, they do say that anything that you've purchased on Battle.net will transfer across to Steam with a one-time transfer of all ownership rights that the player already owns. So that's expansions, silver, etc. And you can pre-order the Shadowkeep from Steam now, and then you can migrate your account at a later date. And you can also pre-order from the Stadia product page as well. And
there was a question about will your lesser guardians be snapped out of existence with cross save? And Bungie said,
okay, no, I got you.
Yeah, So if you primarily play on Xbox, but you also have a PS4 or a PC account, if you choose your Xbox as your one true account, what happens to those PC guardians? And it said,
they die, man. Well, they blink into existence. Yeah, they go the way of Cade.
Yeah, there will be a time limit associated with, quote, shelving and changing your active account for cross save. So I guess you'll be able to change it to a certain point, and they say more details soon. So if you say, hey, I want to be my PC, oh, actually maybe I want to be my Xbox, oh, maybe I want to be my PS4. So I guess there'll be some amount of time you can sort of choose your one true account.
Well, it also depends on how you sign in, though, right? Let's say, for example, you have your Microsoft account for your Xbox, right? And then you have your Steam account. They're not necessarily the same accounts. So maybe you can bring over your new account and your old one still exists because technically it's a different account?
Yeah.
Question
mark? Yeah, still account. Yeah, but there might be...
So you'll have two accounts on the Bungie server. One under one email, one under another email.
Yeah.
But the one under the main email will link everything, and you can log on with your main account, or you could go back to your old account and log in with, say, your old PC Battle.net account, which will now be on Steam, as a different kind of Guardian. So you could...
Yeah, it's a different login for it. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason you can't have, just like multiple Microsoft profiles, Microsoft Xbox profiles. There's no reason you can't have multiple other profiles. Yeah, you just lose all the cross-save for it.
And they have made it quite clear that if you are going to buy Shadowkeep on one platform, you will need to buy it on all the other platforms that you want to play on and play Shadowkeep. So if you wanted to play with your PC friends with Shadowkeep stuff and your Xbox or your PlayStation, then you are going to need to repeat purchase on each platform. They haven't said whether it's going to be at a reduced price, but as somebody pointed out on another podcast I listened to, you can't go and say...
I'm sorry, you listen to other podcasts? What?
As somebody said on another podcast, and I'm going to repeat what they said, was you go and see, say, Avengers. You can't then walk into another movie theatre and go, well, I've just seen that. I've already paid for it. I want to go and see it in your movie theatre. It doesn't work like that. You have to pay for each thing every single time. So that made a lot of sense to me. Every time you want to use something, you've got to pay for it. So
yeah, which is going to be rough for all Australian brethren who are gonna, if you want to play on three platforms, that's $150 Australian you're throwing down, because it's about $50 a pop per platform, whereas in the US it's 35, and I think the UK was about the same.
Now,
30
have
or
we
35.
discussed whether or not it is actually $50 or is it 50 of their currency?
It's
Kangaroos.
50 Australian. 50 Australian kangaroos or 250 koalas, depending how you split it up.
What about sugar gliders? That's the currency I'm concerned with.
No, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to take those to your nearest bank or conversion station and get those converted into kangaroos or koalas. It's the only currency we're using are kangaroos and koalas.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
Yeah, sorry. So I've been holding on to the sugar gliders, hoping they'd increase in value. Sorry, it's not going to happen. Kangaroos and koalas is all you get.
Oh well.
And because we couldn't get out of here without giving you some sort of updates on what the people are saying. Cosmo has said they will let the top men. The players want Spider to sell etheric spirals and barium bows.
Or at least trading them, for
reserves.
God's sake. I've got 4,000 barium bows just sitting there.
Yes.
He doesn't get along with the Awoken, so it would make sense if he traded in them, but I don't think that he could sell them, because doesn't he not have a good relationship with the Awoken? Because before he said he'd like to have a meeting with the Queen, or he'd like to talk with the Queen, because in one of the things that he says to me, he was asking me to kind of give him an in with Mara Sov so that he can talk to her. So that led me to believe that they don't have a very good relationship. So I don't know how he would obtain Banyan Burrows to sell us. However, I would think
give
that
them some.
Exactly, yeah. He could
Awoken.
ask for some in exchange for like legendary shards or something, So I could see that.
Something else. Yeah.
Whatever.
Machine gun reserves are also not showing up. It's a known issue. It's being looked into. And if you're on the PC, apparently the /join and /invite commands are not working due to a known issue. It's also being looked at.
Gotcha.
DMG has said the suggestion to make Benedict sell raid banners have been passed along. They're also working on a fix for the issue where not wiping before the final boss causes the witch's blessing switches to not work. The IB ornament, or the Iron Banner ornaments, will only apply to the Season of Opulence set, not Year 2 sets, just the Season of Opulence set, and obviously your Year 1 if you still have those kicking around. Feedback to earn Year 1 Iron Banner ornaments has been passed along. They wanted to make sure players from Year 1 had their efforts honored, but they understand the pain point of those coming in later who wish to earn them. Tough, you weren't here, you don't get nice things.
Right?
The Merengue Gauntlet bug is under investigation.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
And the Allegiance Quest bug is also under investigation. They couldn't quite get it in with this hotfix.
Listen, I don't want them to fix the Gauntlet bug. Leave that alone. Don't touch it.
I think I've been affected by the Allegiance Quest because I was doing it for my Warlock to get the powerful drops.
Over. There's no reason to do it. There's no reason to ally. There's no reason to have that quest. You don't need to be worried.
I did.
About
I wanted to allege.
No, it's
I wanted
not
to be aligned.
You've already alleged. You're either a snitch or you're not. You've alleged. Move on with it.
I'm not a snitch.
Aligned with my Warlock.
My Warlock will forever be a snitch.
No.
My Hunter will never be in anything because no one cares about him. So what is our Menagerie Gauntlet bug? What is that for the people who don't know?
You don't know?
Well, I was going to say, let's talk about the Menagerie.
But the people don't know. And we're here for the people. How many koalas do you need to bring into the Menagerie to succeed in the Gauntlet?
All right. Well, so the bug in the Menagerie is so when you're running the Gauntlet, right? There's a bug where if you stop just short of the goal when you're in the Gauntlet section of
Finishing
it,
line.
Yep, and shoot grenade launchers past the goal, it counts that as Guardians passing the goal. So you just get mad points. So everybody just walks up to the goal and just shoots their grenades through the goal. And if
there are two triumphs that you can get from it.
Yeah.
The first one is you get a triumph for 6 Guardians passing the finishing line.
Mm-hmm.
And the second triumph is getting 18 Guardians to pass the finishing line. So I'm guessing that's three runs. Yeah. So it's basically a flawless run, isn't it? Without anybody dying.
Well, but so flawless run to me means everybody's being efficient. If you have to go 3 rounds, you're doing something very inefficient in the round, right? But yeah, I get what you're saying, where nobody dies. Even though you're not really completing the objective, nobody's
Well, I'm
really
guessing the objective is once you've run round once, you've got to do it a second time, third time to get that flawless triumph to drop.
I
But
mean, I would assume
there is that cheese for
I
it.
usually usually when I am in the gauntlet, it's because, you know, we don't have a whole lot of points to get. So I've only ever made it to the third run once. I've made it to the second run once. But most of the time when I go into the gauntlet, we just make the run one time and then we've got enough points to fight the boss. So I don't know how that works. I don't know how long that engagement is supposed to go. I know that there's 3 bosses you have to kill and you have to run the gauntlet 3 times, but outside of that, I'm not really sure. But
there's a triumph for it.
There's a triumph for it.
I'll give you a laugh, right? I have done 35 out of 50 encounters. I haven't done the full 50 as yet to get that triumph to drop. And in 35 encounters, I have not done 1 gauntlet. So I can't even cheese the cheese. I'm looking forward to cheesing the cheese, but I can't get to the cheese.
Right.
There will be no cheese for you. It will be cheeseless by the time you get there.
Yep. It'll be. What does cheese turn into when it's sat out for too long? I don't know.
Moldy cheese.
Moldy cheese.
Yeah.
Limburger. No. Whatever. You get that.
Stinky cheese.
You get that good French sticky cheese.
If you are interested in doing the cheese, we will have a link to Cheese Forever's video on how to basically do the gauntlet cheese to get both the triumphs to drop. And I'll link that in the show notes. What else have we got?
Cheese Forever Guardian.
Also, with the Merengue, there is a calculator for the ruins
I
online.
did see that. Yep.
I will link the calculator in the Reddit post that it comes with it, because I was looking at the spreadsheets for what, you know, you can put for different ruins, and I came across this Reddit post that somebody had built the calculator based on the spreadsheet that we linked last week, and you basically just put in the ruins and it shows you what, you know, highlights which ones you can get from putting in which rune. Very
you could
easy,
also go
very
in
simple.
reverse. The thing I like it, go in reverse. You can put in the weapon and it'll tell you what runes give it to you. So you can go either direction with that.
Really handy, because when I was trying to power level up, I wanted to just get a specific item. But then I was like quite curious of, they've got like the Opulence helmet that I wanted, and they have the extra mod slots on them. And I was looking at what I needed to kind of get that specific thing. And unfortunately, I hadn't unlocked the blue runes to get that. So I just had to kind of put in a purple rune and just hope that one of the helmets dropped out of the 4 by just putting in that one single rune. I didn't get it, but it was worth a shot. So yeah, I'll link the Reddit calculator. Sorry, the Reddit post and the rune calculator. There's also a couple of other triumphs that you can get this week, and I will link a video by Ninja Pups. Basically, for the final boss, there are, I think we discussed it earlier, there are Hive Knights and there are Thrall that drop these orbs that you can then throw at the boss to then break his shield. If you don't kill the Hive Knights and just focus on the boss, there's an achievement or triumph for just focusing on the boss and not damaging any of the knights. So I'll link a video for that.
So I know that we have a tips and tricks section, right? But I don't know if this is included. But you know how
include it quick.
Remember how when I was talking about how good the Strum and Drang are nowadays, right? With the whole perk and how you can get 99, empowered rounds. Well, not 99. You can have up to 99 rounds inside the Strum now, and 69 of those can be empowered in a magazine, right? So I got a Drang Baroque to drop, and that Drang that I got dropped with Swashbuckler. So the Drang I was already getting most of my kills with the Drang, right? Before I got the Baroque version. And now that I have the Baroque version with the Swashbuckler, now that Wombo combo is so much better, man.
Ooh. Yeah, you get that melee kill. So the Swashbuckler,
not even melee kill. You can get a regular kill with it. It's melee or kills, right?
Right. But the melee takes so the Swashbuckler, if you get a melee kill, it gives you a 5x stack of damage automatically with one melee kill. Yeah. Or your first 5 kills, it'll give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a stack up to 5. to increase your damage output. So yeah, so you melee someone, you get that 5x swashbuckler damage on top of that.
Yeah.
That's filthy. I love it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like I said, I doubt he included it, but I was lucky enough to get. I mean, the other role is like moving target, so it's not the greatest. Although with a sidearm, you could do worse, right?
Yeah, it could be worse.
But that damn swashbuckler on the Drang, good lord, I was just woo. It's nasty, man. It's nasty.
So Destiny put in a fix on what day was that? Thursday. Yeah, so Thursday, there was a hot fix, no downtime. So they fixed an issue where players could not progress in the Imperial Summons quest. So if you're trying to start that quest, now you should be able to get through it better. They fixed an issue with the Sturm's Accomplice perk was not reloading energy weapons. They're still looking into an issue where the Dring is the only sidearm that reloads when the perk is activated. Mm-hmm. And the energy weapon reload audio may play more than once when the perk triggers. So enjoy your reload dance breakdown. Good times.
Reload dance breakdown.
There you go. Eververse, they also fixed an issue where the Intrepid seasonal armor sets stated they could not be obtained through bright engrams when inspected within the collections. And they fixed an issue where the Eververse armor could be acquired with random rolls. Moving forward, all Eververse armor will have static rolls. So if you have Eververse armor going forward, it's all going to have static rolls. Don't buy it more than once. Any armor obtained prior to this change will maintain the randomly rolled perks. So if you've got a piece of Eververse armor you want to keep with your random rolls, keep it forever, put it in your vault, put it under your pillow, keep it safe. Because going forward, let's say it again, all Eververse armor will have static rolls.
Hey, Parody, what if you've already got a piece of Eververse armor that's got a random roll, and then you get the piece of armor that doesn't have the random roll? Which one is in your collections?
The world may never know. I assume it's the static roll, but I don't really know, to be honest.
Yeah. That would also be my assumption, but I just don't want to say anything and be wrong.
Yeah. And there are a couple of known issues we'll blow through real quick. In Seas of Opulence, the Queen of Hearts ship, they're investigating an issue where you can't reacquire it from your collections after you bought it from Eververse. If you're trying to go to the Bungie rewards page and verify your code to maybe get your sweet raid jacket or your other nifty things, you're getting 404 errors on Bungie.net. Just keep trying again. Mm-hmm. If you get the error, just try it again. Turn it off and on again. Try another time. Opulence weekly bounties. They're looking to an issue where weekly bounties offered by Benedict 9940 did not grant powerful rewards for a period following the weekly reset. Don't know how long the period is, but apparently he was not giving out powerful rewards this week.
Don't know if it's still active.
It's hard to say. And then the chest on the Pleasure Barge, which I think everyone saw because everyone put all the YouTubes out and Reddit's out saying, "Oh, my chests are back." So if you went to the Love Boat on Sunday, there were more chests. You could loot those chests for more Imperials. That's not supposed to happen. So Bungie said, we're looking into why the chests on the Pleasure Barge. It sounds more and more indecent the more times I say it.
No.
The chests only on the Pleasure Barge.
Only a little. You're fine.
They're investigating an issue why that didn't reset on Tuesday like it was supposed to and reset on Sunday instead. You don't tell them what to do. You're not their real dad.
So, are we still talking about the Merengue?
We can go back to the Merengue. We just covered the hotfix and the known issues while you were on the phone. So, Merengue away, my good man.
Yeah, okay. So, I was going to say, hopefully the bosses are in a rotation. Once we've had all three revealed, I hope that, in the playlist, it's just going to be rotated. You don't know what boss you're going to get at the end kind of thing. What do you guys reckon? Or do you think it's going to be a specific boss each week? A bit like the escalation protocol?
Well, that's what I was trying to think, because Reckoning, I reckon on the Reckoning, because isn't the Reckoning a rotation of you boss per week? So I'm curious if they're going to do it that way, because it is an EP the same way. It's a different boss each week. So I would assume they would stick with, hey, we already have this part of the game written. It'll be, it'll be a different boss each week, maybe the same order, maybe not. Maybe with the same boss 4 weeks in a row because it's Destiny and games are hard.
Do you think we've already got 2 different bosses? Have you not done it this week?
I have. No, but we're gonna have a third boss next week.
We've got a third boss next week.
Right.
Or maybe.
What's this conversation about?
But after that,
we have the third boss next week, and then after that, we were saying,
is it going to be, Void, deletion shield ogre third boss, deletion shield ogre third boss, or is it going to mix it up, or is it going to be you run it once and you get the ogre, you run it again, you get the deletion shield guy, on the same day? Is it going to be just random as you play it?
Yeah, what I think it could possibly happen is if you're playing the normal version, which is match made, it can be any of the 3 bosses. But then for the heroic version, that you have to have a 6-man match, you have to have a 6-man fire team pre-made to go into. It's going to be a specific boss each week, and maybe there's going to be like something specific that you can get from each boss each week, like a curated role or something to make it a little bit more prestigious to do, apart from just an emblem.
Yeah, some reason to keep doing it other than just the random roll drops.
Yeah. Or maybe there's a higher chance when you kind of put your runes in and play your gambling on your chalice.
Play all of the gambling.
And another thing,
big money, no whammy.
I hope they don't. I hope that they don't fix the double dipping, triple dipping on that final chest. Because,
good sir, this is a child's program. How dare you say something so inappropriate?
I think it's one of the things that, as Destiny players, we enjoy doing. We enjoy the loot caves. We enjoy the things that we can do repeatedly over and over and over again, even though it's kind of a slight, not exploit, but it is making us play that game type. And I think if it was one reward for one run, I think that would turn a lot of people away, thinking, I can't kind of see if I can get like 2 or 3 rolls of
we both
that
know
sniper rifle.
We both know it wouldn't, because look how many people play Escalation Protocol still to this day.
No,
I know
I
people
think
who does that. Well, there's still people that do it, actually.
I think it would turn a lot of people away. I think having this part of the game where you can run around and possibly get up to 5 or 6 chances at getting the weapon that you want. Yes, if you do get that weapon, those people might suddenly drop off. But if they implement new weapons into the loot pool, it may be something that then brings people back into, because you're not guaranteed to get that perfect roll on that first chest. I haven't got, as I said, I've done it quite a few times now, but I haven't kind of got the best roll of all the weapons. I think it's something that's going to bring people back, and if they patch it, I think it's going to be in the wrong direction. It's not hurting anyone. It's not game breaking.
Right. Yeah, especially since you can only get one, only your first drop is a powerful reward, so you can get multiple ones, but they aren't powerful. You're not increasing your light level.
You say that, though.
You're just getting...
Once you unlock the runes, you can get up to 3 powerful drops a week.
Okay.
So you can do that like I did with you guys yesterday. Okay. We did that one run.
Okay, right. So even you get your 3 drops in one run, 3 drops in 3 runs.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
You're saving yourself time maybe, but you're not breaking the game. You're not exploiting anything.
And that's what I'm saying. I hope it's something that stays around.
Yeah, it's not breaking anything. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they haven't, that they addressed the gauntlet bug but haven't addressed this, it's either not something they're concerned about, or it's the way it was meant to be.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, because why else give you 300 seconds after the event ends? Like, what?
And that's exactly what I was going to say to you. Who's
like perform a dance party?
Intentional, right? Because
you need to line up and give the rest of your team hugs. I feel like you need to line up and give the rest of your team hugs, like good game after the match. Once you
speaking of hugs,
the 300
dude.
seconds.
Speaking of hugs, I was doing a not a Gambit Prime, a Reckoning.
Did somebody hug you?
Yes.
Did someone hug you in the world?
After we killed the boss, one of the other hunters, and I was on my warlock at the time. One of the other hunters did the hug emote, and we hugged.
Thank you, whoever it was out there in the world that gave Respawn some love. He needs some love. He clearly needs some love and some hugs. So if you see Respawn out in the world this week, give him some hugs. Warm hugs is what the Frozen Clan is built on.
All of the hugs. For all I know, it might have been one of our listeners, because last week you said, go around giving everybody hugs. It could just be one of our listeners.
Absolutely. So find Respawn, give him hugs. He may not be able to talk to you because he might be banned. But
I'm only banned until 4:00 today. Shut up.
For now.
And for anybody or anyone that's interested in the lore, there are little urns that are dotted around in the Menagerie that you can pick up for lore items. And Ninja Pups has done a video on the first 5 that have been found. I will link that in the show notes. Is there anything about the Menagerie that you guys want to discuss further?
There was something I was discussing about some of the drops, right? Because I don't know what you have in the tips and the tricks, but this also kind of ties into what you were talking about how many people would go back and rerun. Well, remember a while back I was talking about how potent the Strum and Drang are because I was playing with them and I was just getting just ridiculous amounts of kills, especially now since I can overflow my magazine with so many extra powerful rounds. So most of my kills were actually coming from the Drang, believe it or not, right? And what was it, yesterday or the day before? I rolled a Baroque Drang, and the perks on it were moving target, which isn't bad. I mean, I would have preferred the opening shot or the full auto perk, but the secondary perk that I had was actually Swashbuckler. And Swashbuckler on the Drang is it's bonkers, man. It is so good for the Drang. I just like my kills went up by so many just having that on there, right? Because like you melee somebody, you instantly get that ×5 damage perk. So I melee one guy, turn around, start shooting another guy. It's nutty, man. It's absolutely nutty. And I had it on my warlock, so I was popping a well underneath my feet to get and I had Lunafaction boots on. Dude, just going ape town with this Drang, man. It's crazy. Swashbuckler does so much extra damage. And then on top of that, I remember swapping over to my Drang. I'm sorry, my Strum, and I had like 36 empowered rounds. It's just stupid. And an empowered round can 2-shot body shot a Guardian. So at that point in time, you don't even need accuracy. Just shoot to the chest. Boom, boom, done. Boom, boom, done. Boom, boom. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
For any of our listeners that don't understand what he's saying, it's Sturm and Drang.
Okay.
And now
because I keep calling it
British
Strum.
my little dyslexia. Whoa. So
that's right.
You've merged the two weapons. The Strum.
I was trying to figure. Yeah, that's absolutely. That's what the weapon is. It's the Strum.
Yeah.
You just
obviously it's just split between your primary and secondary slots. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
But like I was saying though, it hits so hard. It hits so hard. So if you're a hand cannon guy, definitely Strum and Drang combo. It's amazing. If you're not a hand cannon guy, and especially since the what was it? I keep calling it a Strum. Sturm.
It's just like the ruins you need to put in your chalice.
Is too slow firing for you, then just keep in mind you can 2-shot body shot a Guardian with it if you have an empowered round. So there's that. Anyway. So yeah, I didn't know what you had in the tips and tricks for this week, but I felt like sharing that. And the reason why it ties into what you're talking about is because I do want to re-roll it with Swashbuckler and full auto or Swashbuckler and opening round. And I think it'll make it even better at that point in time. So I'm definitely going to keep re-rolling to get that, my personal definition of a god roll for the Drang.
I think Swashbuckler is my favorite of the new perks.
It's so good. And I have it on a shotgun that's got with Grave Robber. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to get that melee and get that 5x Swashbuckler stack immediately. And then because I've got it on the gnawing maul, whatever that auto rifle is that comes from Game of Prime. You punch something in Game of Prime and just sit there with that auto rifle and you just tear through things. It's brilliant.
It's really dirty. It's really dirty.
I don't even know what the rest of the new perks were for this season, but that's the one I remember because it's the only one I've gotten and enjoyed the heck out of.
I think it's like if Rampage got like really drunk and got really cool tattoos, and those tattoos were like actually runes that upgraded it. That's what Swashbuckler is to me. It's like Rampage plus. Yes, you get more damage on kills, but now you can get 5 stacks of damage, and you can get all 5 of those at one time if you melee somebody. Oh my god, this is a great thing. So whatever. I felt it was necessary for people to know that the Drang and Strum with Swashbuckler on the Drang, it's a very disgusting combo. Definitely try to get it. It's amazing.
A couple of little bits of info. There's a chest that you can get from one of the
Pleasure Barge.
The Pleasure Barge.
No, there's a chest that you can get from one of the treasure maps for your chalice. It's down on Nessus in the Chamber of Water. It's extremely hard to find. I was wandering around for a good 5 minutes going, where the hell is this? The arrow says it's here, or the X says it's here. I'm the arrow sitting on top of it. And there's this kind of glowing box with like light glowing out the top of it and the sides and the bottom. I'm thinking, is it in there? Is it hidden in there? How am I going to get it out of there? But it's not. It's kind of, you have to walk over to the ledge on the left and follow the ledge round and up. And it's up on a high ledge hidden round the back. For anybody that wants to find where it is and is not sure, I will link a video by 360 Game TV. It shows you exactly where it is in this kind of, it's not a lost sector, but it's kind of a sector that's where it's hidden. So I found that quite interesting, that it was kind of hidden beyond belief. Have you guys found that one yet or not?
Yeah, I found it. I just can't believe you think it was that hidden.
Well, it must be if there's a video for it as well.
I mean,
Yeah, that one I haven't gotten to come up, but the one in the over by the cistern, that I felt very silly because the first day, you drop into the cistern and you drop down, you see the portal, you run into the portal and you go, "Where's this chest?" Yeah, it's right after you drop in the cistern behind a rock, like to your right. Panoramics and we jumped down there again, ran into the portal, thinking, "Okay, this is the way to go."
Nope, it's not in the portal.
Stumbled around there, left the portal, was like, "Oh, hey, look, this shiny rock over here. There's a treasure chest behind it."
Yeah, and that to me is the shocking part, because as soon as you come in, there's a freaking beam of light to your right. Like, how do you miss the freaking beam of light?
Which we clearly
We're focused on the portals.
We clearly
Titans
I
run
mean, the other
forward,
beam of
not
light-
backwards. Remember this?
Yeah, you also
Yeah.
headbutt suns, but we're not getting into that.
Yeah. No, clearly, yeah. I went toward the glowy thing. It was apparently the glowy thing.
It was
There are two
the wrong
things.
glowy thing. Go for the other glowy thing. That's your problem.
Oh, whilst we're here, and if I can get this podcast out before the reset, what I recommend is, if next week you're going to be playing Iron Banner exclusive and you still want to get those maps for your powerful rewards, pick up drifter bounties for Gambit now and complete them this week, because I think it's going to go round in a circle. Last week we had strikes, this week we had Crucible, next week it's going to be like Gambit bounties that you have to do, and maybe even forges at some point. I think if you check the triumphs for Season of Opulence, there's several different triumphs for doing the different bounties for Benedict, and I think one of them's going to be Gambit, and it's probably going to be next week. I'm taking a guess it's Gambit next week, but if you complete them this week, you then won't have to run into Gambit next week and waste your time doing that. Well, I say waste your time, but spend time in Gambit when you want to be playing Iron Banner, because that's what I'm going to be doing. So I still want to get those maps, and I'm saving up my Gambit bounties this week to then just suddenly turn in next week. I have got breaking news.
No, you don't.
Breaking news.
I've got breaking news 4 hours ago
There you go.
from COB
you know.
Blood Drunk on Reddit. He's posted in Destiny the Game.
Sorry, I want to stop you and repeat that whole sentence. No, seriously, say it all again. What the hell did you just say? What's his name?
Breaking news
Uh-huh.
from COB Blood Drunk.
Blood drunk. Okay, that's all I needed. Go ahead, continue.
Okay. On Reddit
Mhm.
has posted Aeon Gauntlets versus the Menagerie.
Oh
Welcome
my
to
God.
the most fun you will ever have in the Menagerie. So since
See?
the buff for the
What did I
gauntlets,
say last week?
Yeah, you did. You called it. Behold the Aeon's soul in all its glory. And they've put, this isn't the final form yet. We only had 4 players with the gauntlets in the runs above. So go forth with this knowledge and throw grenades to your heart's content. Why stop there? Get a fire team of 6 warlocks, and next time Mayhem comes around, throw enough grenades to make Shax proud. So I will link that in the show
Yes.
notes for you guys to have a check on that. Looks interesting.
See, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know you
Throw more
called it.
grenades. Shax will be a happy man.
But it has to be warlocks.
see-
So shout out to the
see-
warlock
Next
brethren.
next week it has to be warlocks. This week it's Titans.
Okay. So
Do you
A
not
couple
even
of-
listen to the things that you read?
no,
You
I don't
yell at me
read,
for
I
that
don't
same
lie.
reason.
He is a vessel of information, giving the knowledge to the people.
Yeah, just not himself. And then the worst part is he's got the nerve to yell at me for not remembering the things that I read. At least I don't remember them after the fact. He just read it.
Yeah, from Reddit even.
Yeah. What?
What are you going on about?
Nothing.
We've clearly gone completely off the rails.
Okay.
If there were rails, the
They're
rails
gone.
are gone now.
So
It's like a bowling alley. You can lift them and put them back down to your heart's content.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a few
Right.
issues. I'll give up.
What?
We love
dude?
you, Night Demon.
What? This.
Right.
We're
Oh,
punchy this
it's all
morning. What can
fun
we
when you
say?
do it to the hunter, huh? Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to mute you in a minute.
You wouldn't be the first. Hey, Microsoft beat you to it.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is when you're, I didn't know this. I've never been banned before. Shocking, I know. But like when you join into a party, it blames it on you. It's like, hey, there's something wrong with your privacy settings. You can't be in chat right now. It tries to trick you. Like my privacy settings, everything is fine. And then like when you like actually go into the party, right? And it says, oh yeah, you're banned. Go here to see why. And then when you go there to see why, it says, yeah, you've done something to get banned. What the hell did I do? I don't know. And you don't get to know.
You've been very naughty.
What the hell?
Go stand in the corner and don't talk to anyone.
Yeah, but no, I looked at the times from when I was banned, and I traced it back to that harsh criticism of the one person inside that Gambit match. So, and you know what? It's not even a harsh criticism. I was emphatically correcting his actions.
And this is where the music plays you out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so random question.
Yo.
Sorry, Nate Demon, I'm going to hijack whatever you were trying to talk about.
Okay.
Have you noticed that there's like two different styles of orbs in the game? There's one that's sort of the older style, like not quite a round ball, just sort of like a ball of light.
Yes. What's that?
And then
about?
there's one that's like an absolute, like it's like a marble, like a big marble drop.
And
I mean,
yeah.
it's just still an orb.
Initially, I thought one was like a weapon orb, and the other one was like a super orb. But no, they're just random because I'll shoot things with my gun, and I'll see the little orbs, and then I'll shoot more things with my gun, and then I'll see some of the big orbs. I'm like, what the hell?
Right? Yeah. And again, I haven't, as we are not streamers or YouTubers, I have not done any sort of research to try to figure out what the difference is. But I've noticed, sometimes I almost wonder, is it one that like you make yourself versus that you get from another guardian?
See, that's what I thought though. Because
like, I assume there's some difference in it
right now. Because with my gun will spawn both.
That's two different styles, but
so maybe it has to do with how much light is in the orb. Like maybe if you kill like a big boss with a weapon, you get a bigger orb of light.
Maybe this is a full orb. This is a half orb.
I guess.
Yeah, no. It just I noticed it. I don't even remember when I started noticing it because again, I'm not that perceptive. But it just I was thinking about the other day, going, these orbs are different. Why are they different?
Only a little.
Well, as we're on this kind of alternative topic, there was a few things that I've noticed in the last week or so. Don't you find it really annoying that once you've kind of selected a strike or like a nightfall and you've got that screen loaded up, you can't then press start and go to your pursuits tab and check what pursuits that you're kind of looking at. You have to kind of back out of what you set up to then go into the pursuits to see, I want to track that pursuit. You kind of backwards and forwards if you want to kind of... It was a lot simpler before, wasn't it, where the pursuits tab was? Are you guys finding that an issue? Or
yeah, but I mean, that's not even like my only issue with that. That is an issue. But my biggest issue is they put the pursuits tab on the one part of the game that takes the longest to load.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, guys, you can now access it here. You can access more of them. Well, yeah, eventually...
And you're kind of playing the game, and then suddenly everybody pulls out their ghosts. You think, oh my god, they're all just going to leave me. Yeah. It's like, no, they're just checking their pursuits because that's the in-game kind of screen for when somebody's looking in their pursuits now. Like the ghost.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. I'm getting a call. Let me pull the ghost out to take the call.
Yeah. And you know that happened
that
happened in the Merengue, not the Merengue,
it's the Merengue.
Yes,
not even that mode. Not even that mode. It was.
Oh, you're going to call it that mode. You're not even going to go near the name.
No, it was the
mode
Reckoning.
that shall not be named.
It was the Reckoning. right?
Okay.
So we were in the reckoning.
The reckoning.
And we had just won, right? And then one of the guys pulls out as a ghost, and the other two guys I'm with just kept repeatedly shooting him, like, no, don't leave, don't leave. We got a good team, don't leave. Right? And then, like, eventually he just puts his ghost down.
Just taking the call.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
But they started shooting him as soon as they saw his ghost. I'm like, no, don't leave. We finally have a good team.
Speaking of the reckoning, oh my god,
Oh, that's so funny.
that game mode is still really hard. I'm at like 740 and I'm playing the game mode so that I can get higher power drops. And you think the group that's with me, the Blueberries, we can even get through a tier 1. We couldn't even get through a tier 1. We couldn't get through a tier 2. And we couldn't even get through a tier 3.
Do you know why?
I know why. Because there's no communication.
No, that's not why. That's really not why. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. And you're always hating on Titans, but no, this time there's. I'm not hating on Titans. I'm educating you, right? So most of these.
Before you educate,
Before
you educate me, let me point out that I didn't do it on my Titan. I was on a Hunter and a Warlock. Go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. But here's the thing: most of these have attrition, right? So the best combo, and this is what I do every week. I've never even used Titan because the best combos that I've seen is a Warlock to keep everyone alive. Yep. And you don't use the Lunafaction boots, believe it or not. You have to use, even though it's been nerfed into oblivion. Yes, you still have to use that.
I was using that.
And then all the hunters have tether, and all the hunters use tether. Right? You got to keep those orbs flowing. You got to keep those ads chained and keep your team healing. If you do that, everything is fine, man.
But what I don't understand, it's a good game mode. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very good, challenging game mode. But for the reward that it's giving me, like a +1 or +2 light, it's not worth my time. It's not worth the investment at this point of time in the game.
You're doing it for the wrong reasons, though. You're not there to get light. You're there to get
gear.
Yeah.
No, I'm there to get light. I'm there to get light. I want to complete No, I want to complete it, but I want to get the piece of light.
But that's not what the game wants you to do. The game wants you to get your Gambit armor from it. The game wants you to get your powerful drops and play your Iron Banner to get light. Yeah, but it doesn't want you to get your light from Reckoning, so that's why
it definitely doesn't. You know, you've got to bank those full motes to get the helmet to drop.
Yep.
You couldn't even get through one run of tier 3. I dropped down to tier 2. Yeah. They couldn't even do that.
The only thing that's
so frustrated.
Really hard about
worth
that.
My time.
The only thing that's really hard about that is at the end of this week's tier 3 is the Knights, right? The Knights will one-shot your entire team because of Blackout, right?
And have they tweaked the Knights? Because I feel like you used to be able to sort of jump, like if you got high enough, you maybe jump over them. And I feel like they've done
if you try to jump over them, their ground pound still kills you for some reason.
No, but I've been killed like in the air.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, when you're in the air, the ground pound still kills you.
Okay, so it's sort of like the old Fist of Havoc, where even if you weren't hit by the Fist of Havoc, if you were in the path of the Fist of Havoc, you'd be dead.
You don't even have to be in the path. You just have to be within, like, there's a bubble of influence when he does that ground pound.
Yeah, in that area of effect.
Going back to what I'm saying, that it's not worth your time to try even get like the light to help power you up.
Oh, totally.
Not the light.
Game mode.
No.
It's a game mode that you just want to avoid now. It's more. It's more effective for me to go and do my one strike to get the same amount of power.
If you're just doing it for the sake of light, avoid it. But you're not playing that for the light. You're playing that to try to get the rolls you want on the armor that you want.
Right.
Yeah.
You're playing that for the Gambit Prime armor. That's the only reason.
And that Gambit Prime armor is baller,
There's
man.
No reason to
My
play
Warlock has 10 resistance and 8 recovery. That armor is amazing.
I have got some of the armor on. Actually, I've got full sets on my Titan, but I'm just trying to get my light high enough, to get to 750. And I'm trying to play the game and the game modes that I can get to get me to that. And if I'm looking for +1 or 2, and I need a helmet, and I know I'm guaranteed a helmet from there, that's where I'm going to get it. But I can't because it's still too hard as a game mode. You can go and play the Forges and get the same kind of drop. Same light drop, and it's a lot quicker.
It is, but I mean, the only thing I can tell you, like I said, is 1 Well Warlock and 3 Tether Hunters, or 2 Well Warlocks and 2 Hunters, or 1 Well Warlock and 1 Geomant Stabilizer Warlock and 2 Hunters. That's honestly, Titans really don't have a big place in there unless they're going to use a bubble or a Fist of Havoc or something. But they just don't have a big influence in that game mode.
The problem I was having playing solo, I'd like to rely on grabbing you two and going through it, and we all get our powerful. But for the majority of players, you can't always do that, and relying on the blueberries is very hit and miss. I mean, it was quite good for the first, couple of weeks of Season of the Drifter, but now we've moved on to Season of Opulence. It's a little bit harder to find those people that are actually capable of going forward. So I'm hoping it's something that they tweak so that it's not easier, but
also with the tier 1 and tier 2, if you can't even get past the tier 1 and tier 2, it sounds like you guys are just having problems with the domination. Is that about right? Do you feel during the domination? Well, that's all tier 1 is domination. So you have to be mindful when you kill a bunch of ads. If you notice that your domination isn't spiking like it was previously, somewhere on the map there's a major or a boss, and you have
it wasn't that. We were getting to the bosses, but the bosses take so much DPS. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, don't you find when you even reckon...
Not on a tier 1 or tier 2. Tier 3, the knights, they take nutty amounts of damage. But tier 1 and tier 2,
the Shadow of Oryx takes a hell of a lot of damage. Even if you're all standing in a well and you're trying to DPS her, it's still a bonkers amount of damage that you have to put into her. It's... Compared to the Forges, I know that was a previous season, or even compared to doing the Menagerie, the bosses in that... you can take down at even 710. Like, these ones are still tankier than anything else.
I still don't have a problem with the tier 2, but I will consent that the bosses in this game mode, they are very tough. Very tough.
And it doesn't make any sense because you've got to play the PvE to get the armor to go into PvP kind of. Well, a PvE kind
PvE.
of.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. And it is nutty. They, at the very least, they need to either scale back the knights, or for the love of Pete, stop putting Blackout on there. Remove Blackout from that game mode, because that is the worst thing ever to do when you have two fully just stacked up, beefy as hell knights running around trying to kill you, right? And if one of them can melee your entire team to death, two of them is just, it's ridiculous, man.
Or stop teleporting them on top of you. Teleport them just outside the circle, not on top of you.
That's a part of their mechanic, right? So I'm not going to complain about that, because that's been a mechanic forever. But they do need to get rid of Blackout. If they just got rid of Blackout, things would be so much easier. But 2 weeks in a row they've had Blackout, and I think 2 weeks in a row they've had attrition daily, as well.
Don't you?
Yeah, but some of the modifiers stay there just permanently. You know.
And the other thing I wanted to point out is that the Valor Forge is still really hard to do with blueberries. Oh my god! I tried to get. This is the first forge that you can get with the Cabal.
What?
I know, and I'm trying to solo it, trying to grab the balls, throw the thing, kill the blue mages that are in there. And I don't know what the hell the other two were doing. They were just running around like headless chickens. And I tried it, and I gave up in the end, because then I went to the Baguzia Forge, and the Baguzia Forge, I just stood in one place and just killed loads of ads, and the time built up and built up and built up. And you can literally solo that area.
The Baguzia, you probably use that submachine gun.
Risk Runner.
Thank you.
Runner. But I can use that against the Cabal, because some of them do shoot you with arc.
Some of them, yes, but not enough to really make it.
But you don't get the same amount of blue mages in that first forge that you do in the Baguzia. You must admit, there's loads more in that last forge.
I mean, I guess I think your weapon loadout is your problem there, right? So if you're doing the Valor,
it's not mine. I was doing the damage and getting the ball. It's just
but
the other
you can still solo if you have a loaded question and a hammerhead and whatever your favorite primary weapon is, preferably something that's got like a firefly or like an exploding round, something that does AoE damage. If you have that as your primary, the loaded question as your secondary, and a hammerhead as your tertiary, then you should be fine, man. You could solo that probably without any help at all.
Well, you say that.
Well,
but I find it ridiculous that the first forge is harder to do than the last forge.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, it does seem a little bit more ridiculous, but I think it's just because the mechanics involved. In the last forge, 90% of them shoot you with arc, So you bring the risk runner.
Yeah.
You know, you just made the whole encounter easier if you have the risk runner.
Yeah, the order of the forges I find very interesting because what's the third one with the multiple levels? Like why that wasn't the final forge that we had to do a puzzle to unlock it, because like you do the puzzle and then it's like, okay, it's a forge that's just as easy as the first ones.
I do like
it's
that.
Not, it's
I
not
do
the
like that
multi-level
third
forge
forge.
with the multi.
I do like that third
Right,
forge
I mean,
because
it's
you're,
an army.
somebody's going to be solo, and that's what I like about it. Somebody is solo. You know, there's no getting around it. You know,
Right. But yeah, I mean, I like it. Just I've only done it a time or two because honestly, once I can unlock all the weapons on the one forge, that's when I go back to every time the Berguzia.
yeah.
But just the order of that forge,
Well, the
why
Berguzia
that
also can drop
that one wasn't
Le Monarch and Jotun, and I think that's the only forge where you can get curated weapons, isn't it?
I don't
but just why I just thought it's funny. We've got this hard, this long quest to unlock this hard forge, and then there's this big puzzle that Bungie made a huge deal out of to unlock a forge where it was easier than all the rest of them.
That wasn't even account wide.
It seems just like an interesting, just the order that it was unlocked just seems really interesting.
But that's also another tip. If you are kind of power light yourself up, if you are doing the forges still, I got 2 Jotuns to drop and a Le Monarch this week, and I was like, I'm just playing the game as normal, and they were powerful drops. Gave me +2, 3 light, so that was quite handy. Right, we've got probably about 5-10 more things.
Remember when he said this would be like an hour, and we're now like 3 hours.
But we get carried away and we talk.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
No, not at all. I just like looking back, harking back to simpler times.
So we've already gone over the weapon review because we kind of got excited about that. There's a couple more weapons that you've probably already heard about, but I will link the new sniper rifle from the Menagerie by what is it called?
The Beloved.
The Beloved, that's the one.
So good in PvP.
So True Vanguard has got a video where he shows you his god roll version of the sniper, and he shows you a lot of gameplay and he explains why he finds that one to be the god roll. That's a really cool video. And then we've got Cool Guy, who's done a breakdown video of the sniper with base stats, all the perks and combinations, and why certain combinations work for like PvP and PvE. So that's worth a watch. We've also got a guide by Pause, Reset and Play, which is going over the new mods, and he goes into the 16 different mods that you can get from either the Menagerie or the new raid, and they're very similar to the year 1 mods that you can get on the original Leviathan armor, but these mods are detachable from like the armor pieces, so they drop like other armor mods. And much like we've had the Taking armaments and the Fallen armaments, you can now get Hive armaments, and there are 4 different versions, and he shows you one of them, which is grenade kills, refreshes grenade energy.
Yep.
So there are 16 in total and 4 specific Hive mods, and he goes into those in his video, and that's worth a watch.
Like I have on the raid pieces I have Taken armaments, and then I have Hive invigoration. And they're both really, especially the Taken armaments. Whoo, that's yum.
But I thought kind of everybody's been looking at that new sniper rifle because it's got the new perk, which is no distractions, which is
it reduces flinching when you aim down sights for.
There you go.
Yeah,
reduces the flinch. And saying that, Fallout Plays has done a video on no distractions, and he's done a video comparison with flinch and unflinching and enhanced unflinching on armor and the weapon, and then without the weapon. So he's gone over all the different variations and shows you can still get flinched, but it's not as significant. He does little arrows to show you the different colors of what piece does what. Really interesting. So that's worth a watch. And we have a video by Cool Guy again going over is it Ostringer? the new hand cannon that you can get from the
Oh
Merengue?
man, that thing is pretty good too. Oh.
Yeah. Again, in the other video that he did for the sniper, he breaks down the perks, the feel of it. It's very stat heavy video, but it's worth a watch. The perk that you want to kind of look out for, and it's called the Eye of the Storm, and he goes into why you want to look out for that perk and what combinations again work really well with that weapon. So if you like your hand cannons, it's 140 RPM and it's worth a watch.
Yeah,
So
I got one that has opening shot, Eye of the Storm, accurized rounds, and small bore with a range mod. Oh, dude, the gun is disgusting. The gun is absolutely disgusting. It's I said it twice. I know, but it's because it is. It really is, and the stability is really not bad either. And it's just, it's a thing of beauty. It really, really is. But that aside, I was also going to talk about that sniper. Remember how earlier I said, I was using the wrong sniper, and now that I've changed snipers, I'm doing much better as far as these sniper kills go. Yeah. I'm using a Beloved, and my first slot has Rampage, and my second slot has Snapshot Sights. Dude, just tagging people. Pow, pow, pow. Like, I think I can even body shot kill a Guardian after I kill the first Guardian with like a headshot. I think that Rampage gives me just enough damage to do a body shot kill on the second Guardian. So in my personal opinion, I'm sure there are better roles out there, but the Beloved, like I said, with Rampage and Snapshot Sights, definitely don't sleep on it. It's really good.
I've got a guide for you from Rustophilis, and he's called it Rusto Rig. It's a hunter build. It's high mobility, high recovery, as he says that resilience is non-existent in PvE, basically. And it's a tether hunter, and he breaks down each piece of armor that you'll need for this kind of build. And specifically for the Merengue, in the video, he shows you that he's basically his tether every couple of seconds. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think he builds it with a fusion rifle, the Telesto. So that's worth a watch if you're going with a group into Merengue. And the last video I've got is another good one for the Merengue. Is by Iro, and he's got like a weapon combo. He uses it with a Warlock in his video, but you could use it across any character. And for his primary, he uses the Outbreak Prime or the Huckleberry. Sorry, the Outbreak Perfected, the Huckleberry. So that's the new pulse rifle, Outbreak, or the Huckleberry is the SMG, both exotic. For his energy slot, he uses the Loaded Question, which is the pinnacle weapon from a couple of seasons back from the strikes. So that's a Zavala one. So it may be in your inventory or in Vault. So pull that out. I know you've been raving on about that, haven't you, Respawn, for the last couple of weeks?
Dude, yes, honestly. It's the Loaded Question is so good. After it got that buff, honestly, especially if you're doing things like Gambit or Reckoning or Menagerie, things that are ad heavy, you kill one guy, he takes out that entire group. It's absolutely disgusting. And I'm talking about like some majors, it can one shot if you get all the pellets with some of them headshots. You can one shot some majors with this gun, and then of course the major takes out all of his little minions or whatnot.
In his video, I mean, he pairs it with the Huckleberry SMG, and he's got it masterworks. So when you get a kill, it automatically fills the whole magazine. Yes, and with your Loaded Question, you do your one shot, you stow it away, and you've got auto loading holster. And then for his power weapon, he's got the Wendigo, which is the new pinnacle weapon from Zavala for the strikes.
Yep.
And that again has auto loading.
That's the exact loadout I'm working on right now. Speaking of that, right? So quick plug, quick trick and tip, right? If you have a Warlock and you have Lunafaction boots, what I've been doing is there's a primary there's two primary grenade launchers, but they're like single shot loaders. There's also some secondary grenade launchers, and then you have like the exotic grenade launchers that have multiple rounds, right? Like damn it, it's my favorite one, man, the Spider-Bot gun. But yeah, I have that as the exotic, and then I have two single load grenade launchers for my primary and secondary weapons, and then you drop a well with Lunafaction boots. What I do is I go into a nightfall, and while everyone else goes to do the nightfall, I know, shut up. I'll just hang out in the nightfall sector right in the beginning, not nightfall, in the lost sector right in the beginning, and
That's because you are nasty to the rest of your team.
No, because when it comes to the boss, it pulls me to them, so that's fine. Yeah. So until they get to the boss, right? And a lot of us are 750, so getting to the boss is nothing. So I'm just getting a lot of grenade kills. I think I'm already up to like 500 and something, and I've only done 6 or 7 lost sectors. I'm sorry, 6 or 7 nightfalls with the warlocks. So you can get mad kills with grenade launchers and lunafaction boots, even the single loaders, because everyone's like, well, you gotta shoot and then reload and shoot and reload. No, with the lunafaction boots, just boom, 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 boom with a single load launcher, and then you got launchers on all 3 weapon slots. You get your kills so fast. So that's my recommendation. If you're aiming for that, jump on a warlock, put a lunafaction boots, or even a titan with your rally barricade, right? And put a grenade launcher on every subclass, you'll get it so quick. So,
or as I'm going to point out in this next and last tip video, which is by loads of different people who pointed this out this week, if you can grab a fire team of 3, then load into the strikes, and what you want to look for is the corrupted strike. And rather than follow through firing off your grenade launchers, you want to make your way up the hill and head for the blind well and just sit in the blind well, because apparently you can get all the kills in the blind well and it's extremely fast. So as long as you've got your tokens to feed into the blind well, you can do tier 1, 2 and 3 and the 4th, and all 3 of you can sit there and farm to your heart's heart's content.
And I thought about that, but that's the thing. Tokens, you are limited. But if all 3 of you load into a nightfall and all 3 to the same,
not even a nightfall, just
different
the strike, so you can back in and out. If you get the wrong one, go back into the next one. Just keep reloading till you get that one up.
Sorry, yeah, strikes, nightfalls, whatever have you, right?
No, you can't do it. You can't do it in nightfalls. You have to do it in strike playlist.
Oh, the strike playlist. I'm thinking of rocket launcher kills. My bad. Thanks for the correction.
Sorry? I will link a video by Pause Reset and Players Done One, Ncooch, DPJ, Houndish. I will link one that's really good, just basically shows you about how to do it. And I think that might be the end of the show. But saying that, Respawn. Now let's do this properly this week. You have to act surprised.
Okay.
Okay.
About
ready?
what? Tell me what.
Respawn.
What?
Do you like listening to our podcast?
Yeah.
Would you like to get paid to listen to our podcast?
Yeah.
Well, what would you say if I told you there's an app that would pay you to listen to podcasts and we're featured on it?
Okay. What would I say? First of all, I'd say, is that actually a thing, or are you trolling me?
It's actually a thing.
Okay.
Do you want to know what it's called?
No, I mean, yeah, I want to know what it's called. But my second question is, when you say pay, do you mean like cash money pay, or are we talking about like points that gives you like access to different channels on the podcast type pay? Because I've been sucked into those before too. So, like, what kind of pay are we talking here?
Well, the app is called Podcoin, and it pays you in Podcoin, which you can then redeem for Amazon vouchers. There's a vast array of vouchers that you can claim for America, Canada, Australia, and the UK.
But you still didn't specify when you say like Amazon vouchers. Are we talking about like gift card vouchers you can use to buy stuff? Or are we talking about like, so it's not like, well, you can now access this channel on whatever podcast we featured. It's like actual real life currency,
like $20.
What? No.
That's serious. 60,000 points will get you like $20 cash. $20 card.
Okay. I mean, they don't like expire, right? Like, I don't have to listen to 6,000, points worth of stuff in a day or a week or however long it takes to accumulate these points.
Can just accumulate them and just enjoy listening to podcasts.
Okay. So Podcoin.
And something interesting that I found out is if you listen consistently for 3 days, your Podcoins are doubled. And if you are listening to a featured podcast, you get double the double amount of Podcoin.
Okay, so you mean double the Podcoin for that listen, or double the Podcoin for like what you have in reserve? So if I have 5,000 in reserve and I listen to this one show that's worth 1,000, do I get double the 1,000? Oh, okay, so it's just for the one show then.
Just for the one show. So for every 10 minutes, you earn a Podcoin. And if you listen consistently for 3 days, you earn 2 Podcoins every 10 minutes. And then if you listen to a featured podcast, you get 4 Podcoins per 10 minutes.
So what you're saying is it'll actually give me a benefit for listening to our own podcast.
It would.
All right, yeah, cool. And like this doesn't like require a membership, or I have to pay a fee, or
no membership, no fee. But there is a code that you can use to get 300 Podcoin to start you off.
Oh, that's cool. What's the code?
2 Titans.
Is that the number 2, or do I have to type out 12?
12.
No,
12
hold on.
Titans.
Well, I think we're asking the wrong questions here. Okay, so you said 2 Titans.
Yep. Just 2 Titans.
Nope, that's it.
What?
2 Titans, full stop. No hunters allowed in Podcoin land.
That's bad. I call myself. No, that's seriously. So just 2 Titans, not like 2 Titans and a hunter. Not like. Did they give it to us? Can we come up with our own? I mean,
they gave it to us. They just gave it to us free of charge.
What the hell, man?
All I had to do is go and say, "This is our podcast," and they went, "Oh, do you want to be featured on our page for the next couple of weeks?" I went, "Yeah, go on then." So I just want to make it quite clear to people, they don't sponsor us. We don't sponsor them. This is just something free that we thought you guys would be interested in.
I mean, obviously, yeah, it's for the listeners,
just
not
listening
us.
to us. Yeah.
But hold on. No, we got to back up a little bit. I need you to send me however they contacted you. I'm be like, look, I'm the hunter on this show, and I am not appreciated inside of the code here, man. What the hell?
Podcoin land. Podcoin land doesn't love you. At some point, we'll have a code that's just a hunter.
Oh,
and then people,
I like it.
You start up your own podcast.
I like it. Oh, man.
Solo hunter.
Damn it. No respawn never gets no love. That's not true. I got a hug.
Just a ban. That's all.
I got a hug and then a ban. Here's a hug. Now you can't play anymore. What?
Getting a lot of mixed messages this week.
So who wants to go and team up and cheese a Wendigo?
I do.
There you go. Faraday, you in?
Well, it's time to go cheese a Wendigo. So thank you for joining us. Your Titans this week have been Parody and Night Demon. Your hunter is no one respawns in real life.
No.
Ban him, hug him. We're not really sure which. Shoot us an email to 2titansandahunter@hotmail.com, because we've been having this idea about maybe doing a live show or a call-in show. Shoot us an email, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know, would you be interested in a live show? It will probably be explicit because none of us can read or speak intelligently. Are you interested in a call-in show where you could ask us questions or in real life? Shoot us an email, hit us up on Twitter, leave us a comment on our Facebook page. Tell us, is this a thing you'd be interested in? And we'll maybe try to put something together for you all.
And by
again,
by calling,
you can find our show.
We really mean listen. Oh, we really mean call in on the.
We mean
Discord.
literally call in
On the Discord, though.
Not the Discord. It's a different thing entirely.
What?
We'll figure it out later.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can join the Frozen clan at join.frozen.party. That's Frozen with a 0 because copyrights. Join us if you enjoy sandwiches, warm hugs, and letting things go. You can find your favorite Guardians on Xbox Live. You can watch the show on YouTube, listen to the show on Podcoin, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and wherever podcasts are sold. I leave you dancing the dance with my people on the moon, because the moon is haunted. Good night, Guardians.
Bye.
Hello to Jason Isaacs.
I don't know what that means.
Exactly.
Because their chests on the pleasure their chests on the pleasure barge, and they're going to do whatever